government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria. If they don't, there's going to be hell to pay.
It's unfortunate that President Trump has been misinformed. This false narrative that there's some persecution or a genocide.
Why isn't it a genocide against Christians in Nigeria?
We don't want to be the next Sudan.
You dispute the numbers that have been reported to have been killed, but you have no idea how many Christians have been killed.
We are not hiding any facts.
Right now, you have an Islamist government in Nigeria. There is a reason that we're seeing these Islamic militants going around and yelling Allahu Akbar. That's not by coincidence.
It's easy for her to sit thousands of miles away and play games with people's lives.
I've performed several burials because the Islamic are controlling the government. Let me tell you, there's a genocide in Nigeria.
Nicki Minaj will address the United Nations later today alongside US Ambassador Mike Waltz. The Queen of Rap is not often seen at the UN. She's speaking out because, like so many people at the moment, she's extremely alarmed about what is happening in Nigeria. It's the most populous country in Africa and one of its wealthiest, but it's fair to say it hasn't traditionally been a big subject for Western media or the US podcast circuit until recently. Just over a month ago, HBO's Bill Maher said this.
If you don't know what's going on in Nigeria, your media sources suck. You are in a bubble. And again, I'm not a Christian, but they are systematically killing the Christians in Nigeria. They've killed over 100,000 since 2009. They've burned 18,000 churches. This is so much more. These are their Islamists, Boko Haram. This is so much more of a genocide attempt than what is going on in Gaza. They are literally attempting to wipe out the Christian population of an entire country. Where are the kids protesting this?
Many prominent figures are now raising the issue. Senator Ted Cruz wrote since 2009, over 50,000 Christians in Nigeria have been massacred. It's a result of decisions made by specific people in specific places at specific times. The United States knows who those people are. A series of stories have followed on major US networks, including Fox, whose interviews on the subject were said to have angered President Trump. The US leader is now threatening Nigeria with, in his words, sweet military action, choosing not to rule out both airstrikes and boots on the ground. He's also threatening to withhold more than $1 billion in US aid. Just this weekend, government abducted 25 girls from a high school in Nigeria. Boko Haram is being blamed. Understandably, I wanted to find out more about all of this. I expected the Nigerian government to be addressing the situation with urgency and invited the Nigerian Foreign Minister, Yusuf Tuggar, to appear on the show. There was a bit of a bad line, but I'm sure that you and many in the White House will find what followed pretty extraordinary. Well, joining me now is the Nigerian Foreign Minister, Ambassador Yusuf Tuggar. Welcome to you, Foreign Minister. I appreciate you joining Uncensored.
Thank you for having me, Piers.
So a simple question. If somewhere between 50 and 100,000 Christians have been murdered in Nigeria since 2009, depending on which bit of data you want to take up, and 18,000 Christian churches have been destroyed, why isn't it, as some people are claiming, a genocide against Christians in Nigeria?
Well, to begin with, those figures are completely and totally inaccurate and false. And many in the media have examined them, they've fact-checked them. So they come from Inter-Society and Open Doors, and they've been shown to be totally inaccurate. What we have in Nigeria is a multi-ethnic, multi-tribal, multi-religious country of 230 million people. Our nation-building project is not an easy one. We have suffered from the effects of things that we have no control over, exogenous factors such as the breaking up of the Libyan state, the killing of Gaddafi, the proliferation of weapons and fighters that have cascaded down to the northern fringes of Nigeria and beyond.
Isn't it interesting that this guy mentions Gaddafi? It's quite telling that he's mentioning Gaddafi. We know what he's trying to do there. I don't know if anybody else caught it, but he's trying to throw some sand up, right? We know what he's trying to do there. And by the way, Gaddafi was mostly for the northern people, for Muslims.
And have affected the entire region. The failure of the EU Sahel strategy over the years. These are all things that we are suffering the effects of. And we do have Boko Haram in the Lake Chad region that affects not just Nigeria, but 3 other countries, Niger, Chad, and Cameroon, that we've been contending with through the multinational joint task force that allows the troops of the countries in the region to pursue the terrorists. 50,000 insurgents and people that were caught in the region of the insurgency having surrendered, and we were in the course of processing them, and some were being rehabilitated, others were being processed through the legal when Niger had to pull out because of the failure of the EU Sahel strategy and the military coup that was experienced in Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali.
Look, you've made it clear that you believe these numbers are wildly exaggerated. The International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law is a non-governmental organization that monitors and tracks human rights abuses across Nigeria. In its report in August, it said jihadist groups, including Boko Haram and ISIS in Nigeria, had killed over 100,000 Christians in the last 16 years. It also noted that 60,000 moderate Muslims have been killed in that period too. Now, I guess my obvious question to you is, if it's not 100,000, then how many Christians have been murdered since 2009? And if it's not 18,000 Christian churches that have been destroyed, how many is it?
We in Nigeria have Christians, we have Muslims, we have atheists, we have animists, and when we're counting death tolls, we don't necessarily go by religion, and quite often it's difficult to even identify what religion an individual that has just lost their lives belongs to. And what we are concerned about is that they are Nigerians first and foremost. And we've seen these sort of agitations by faith-based organizations that is a prelude to the breaking up to the government of countries. We've seen it in Sudan. We know this playbook. It's happened. There were agitations to create South Sudan, which was expected to be a predominantly Christian country, separate from North Sudan,
Tato,
which
girl,
is meant
long
to be
time. Good to see you.
a Muslim country. Now we have a situation where there's fighting, continuous fighting in Sudan. There's another round about to kick off. The same thing in the North Sudan.
Okay,
where
but let me
the
interrupt.
supposed Muslim fighting each other. So we don't want to be the next Sudan. We will not allow ourselves to be the next Sudan.
No, I
Where
understand
are the
that.
faith-based groups that were agitating and to be remembered?
Can you
They're no
imagine
longer there
this?
to fix Sudan.
Okay.
Not North, not South.
Hey.
Where
Okay.
it's Nigeria as a
Understand.
member of the Peace
Let me
Council of the African
let me
Union
jump in
that
if
is
I
left
may.
with the heavy lifting.
Foreign Minister, if
Go.
I may, I'd like to jump in if I may, because you do seem to be avoiding my questions.
Bam.
You know, you don't seem to know how many Christians
I'm
have
not
been
avoiding
murdered,
your
which I find surprising.
I'm not.
Exactly.
Well, you haven't given me
I'm
any.
not.
You've told me you don't know.
I'm not avoiding your
Well,
questions.
well, just with respect, sir,
As
you have not
Nigerians.
given.
Because of Nigerians. So
No,
many
you have,
that
I
are
know.
being-
I know what you said.
Christians may not necessarily
I understand.
Keep quiet,
be-
Oga.
those that
But
may
you
be
are, yes, but
considered to be-
what you're saying, if you could let me speak,
Exactly.
what you're saying is that you dispute the numbers of Christians that have been reported to have been killed, but you have no idea how many Christians have been killed. What we surely can agree on is how many Christian churches have been destroyed. Do you know how many?
Yes, I do.
If you owe back taxes to the IRS, they can garnish your wages and levy your bank accounts. They can even seize your retirement
they
or
do
take your
commercial.
home. Don't let the IRS target you. Call the professionals at tax.
52 52 churches, depending on which region again you are referring to. Because
Why
there
will
are
you not
different
have the
regions in
data, Oga
Nigeria,
Minister?
and
Look at.
there are. I can give you the figures right here now. So
Well, how many since
we
2009?
have
Answer.
since 2009, since the last 5 years,
Talk now.
attacks, not destroyed, attacks on churches 102. So we're not hiding any figures, you see. It's important to understand this. Same way that there are mosques that are destroyed. I don't even have to mention that. Nigeria is configured in such a way that you have Muslim and Christian populations all across the country. There are, of course, states out of the 36 states that we have that have a high concentration of Christians, the same way that there are states where you have a high concentration of Muslims. Take, for example, the more recent attacks that have brought about an intensifying of this false narrative that there's some persecution, or as the likes of Bill Maher even go as far as to say, a genocide. The ground
Well, it's
zero
actually
for that
more than
would
Bill
be
Maher.
Benue State.
If I may jump in again. If I may play you.
Minister,
Finish
listen.
this.
If I
Can
may
I just
jump in,
finish?
sorry.
No, if I can just finish this. If I can just finish this, sorry. The governor of Benue State happens to be a man of the cloth. He's a reverend father.
Yeah,
He's a Catholic.
intentionally
So
put there.
you can
Render
see how it
useless.
is impossible for him to be concealing what is happening. He would be screaming at the top of his voice
Really?
if indeed there was some genocide, or if there was some specific calculated targeting of Muslims, of Christians. But he knows there
Okay.
isn't, and that is
Let me
why
play you.
he is not doing
Okay.
so.
But let me play you a clip from President Donald Trump about this.
If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria. We're going to do things to Nigeria that Nigeria is not going to be happy about, and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns are blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible, horrible atrocities. I'm hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians. These are cherished people. These are great people. Leave them alone. Warning. The Nigerian government better move fast before it's too late. If they don't, there's going to be hell to pay.
So what is your message to President Trump, who obviously completely disagrees with you?
My message is that we have the utmost respect for the United States of America. We have, by extension, the utmost respect for its president, President Trump. It's unfortunate that President Trump has been misinformed by those that trade in generalized labelings. And unfortunately, it has resulted in this statement. We urge that the engagement that is ongoing continues, so that we will provide more information and clarity. We are not the ground for either a jihad nor a crusade. Nigerians have lived in peace, relative peace, with each other for a very, very long period of time. We are the people that populate the confluence of the rivers Niger and Benue, and we will continue to do so. And it's important to be mindful of the complexity of the Nigerian state. It is a multi-diverse state in so many regards, and it is an ally of the US because we've worked successfully together in the past. And we actually appreciate what President Trump has done in the past when other subsequent US administrations would not sell Tucano jet fighters to us, planes, aircraft to us. President Trump acquiesced to that. some of the things that we're experiencing at the moment have a direct linkage to the application of the Leahy Law to countries like Nigeria, where they were deprived of weapons to maintain peace at home and help also maintain peace in the region. This is why we continue to experience terrorism in the region, in the Sahel region, whereas in the past, when we worked successfully together with the US, you could see what Nigeria was able to achieve. We resettled Sierra Leone, we resettled Liberia successfully, and our multinational joint task force
Minister, I'm interrupting
was very
you.
effective in the fight against terrorism.
Wait till they ask you what you they talk.
Minister, just stay there for a moment, if you will, because joining me now is the former Canadian MP Goldie Gamari, host of the Goldie Show, who has spoken out frequently at what she says is a genocide against Christians in Nigeria. So, Goldie Gamari, welcome to Uncensored. What is your response to the Foreign Minister of Nigeria, who says there is no genocide? The numbers of those who've been killed, number of churches attacked, has been wildly exaggerated?
Well, first of all, Pierce, thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here. Pierce, if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, it probably is a duck.
Bam.
There's a reason that we're seeing these Islamic militants going around and yelling Allahu Akbar. That's not by coincidence.
Yep.
There's a reason that they are attacking Christians on Christmas Eve. Let's not forget that back in 2014, almost 300 Christian schoolgirls were kidnapped by these Islamic militants. 80 of them, their whereabouts are still unknown. Pierce, what's happening in Nigeria is jihad. It's the exact same thing that happened on October 7 by Islamists when they broke into Israel and murdered Jews, yelling Allahu Akbar. It's the exact same thing that ISIS terrorists did to the Yazidis in Iraq. It's the exact same thing that happened in Lebanon. Pierce, the only difference between what's happening today in Nigeria versus what happened 1,400 years ago when the Muslim Arab invaders came to Persia is that back then people did not have cameras, but today they do. It is 100% jihad. We've seen it before. This is how the Islamist playbook always happens.
Well, I don't think that the foreign minister was denying that bad things have been happening. He's just denying that it constitutes a genocide, and that the numbers
of course, because his government is a part of it.
Of murders of Christians.
I think his government is complicit. Right now you have an Islamist government in Nigeria. One of the things that he didn't mention to you is that typically it's been a constitutional convention in Nigeria that if the prime minister is Muslim, then if the president is Muslim, then the vice president is Christian. If the president is Christian, then the vice president is Muslim. This is intended to have a proper representation of the Nigerian population. Right now you have a Muslim president, and then they decided to choose a Muslim vice president, and so there is actually no Christian representation in the Islamist government. By the way, this is a government that is working closely behind the scenes with the Islamic Republic of Iran. You should ask the foreign minister why Nigerian school children are holding pictures of the Ayatollah, who is a brutal dictator and is murdering my people in Iran. People need to look into the linkages between the current Nigerian government and the Islamic Republic of Iran. I was a politician for 7 years, Pierce, and I can tell when someone is lying and avoiding the truth. That's exactly what this foreign minister is doing, and shame on him for lying.
Bam!
Foreign minister, your response to that?
With all due respect to the lady, I'm sorry, I forget her name. She has already exposed her ignorance and lack of knowledge about Nigeria, and it's easy for her to sit thousands of miles away and play games with people's lives. These are real
I'm not the one playing games with people's lives.
Thank you.
7,000 Christians have been murdered in Nigeria.
Yes.
7,000 Christians have been murdered in Nigeria. Who's playing games with people's lives?
Does not even know whether Nigeria has a president or a prime minister. You can see how she's waffling, she's stumbling. But
now you they waffle, guy.
You're showing your own ignorance. The fact that you're not able to actually counter what I'm saying.
Exactly.
And instead you're going after these things that are irrelevant. That just shows how ignorant you are.
Rattling. Trade in saber rattling. It's typical. You can see she's exposing herself. She doesn't even know the country that she's trying to start a crusade on, and drawing comparisons with Gaza. You know, it's clear what she's trying to do. We have a constitution that has, go and read my constitution before you even try to have a discussion with me. Look up sections 10, 38, and 42 of our constitution. There is federal character enshrined in our constitution. It's part and parcel of it. And the priority is the region where you come from, because we don't identify ourselves as Muslims and Christians in Nigeria. We
Really?
identify
The Christians
ourselves
disagree.
from regions,
Thank you.
geopolitical
The
regions,
Christians disagree.
place where we come from. And
But do you accept? All right, Foreign Minister. Foreign Minister, let me jump in. Let me
find out
Foreign Minister. Foreign Minister, do you? Foreign Minister, if I may.
If I may,
Foreign Minister, if I may, Foreign Minister, do you accept that there is a big problem? You know, we can quibble over precise numbers, but you've already said by your own numbers, over 100 Christian churches have been attacked. You won't commit to how many Christians have been killed. I think you're slightly hiding behind the fact you don't know what all their religion was.
Bam.
You must know how many people have been
I
killed.
can give you figures. I can give you figures. You did not ask me. You did not ask me. I can give you figures of those that lost their lives when.
How many Christians have been murdered in Nigeria since 2009?
Since 2000, since over the last 5 years, I can categorically tell you that 177 have been killed. And it does not mean that the killing.
But you said to me. So you said to me earlier. You said to me earlier you did. Yeah, but hang on, Foreign Minister, with respect,
Muslim. They are not necessarily Muslim.
Foreign Minister.
Shut up, Oga.
Foreign Minister, with respect, earlier when I asked you that question, you said you didn't know the number.
Exactly.
Because many of the people who've been killed, you didn't know what religion they were. So which is it?
Exactly.
Yes, so I am telling you, number killed when churches were attacked. I told you the number of the churches that were attacked.
No, how many Christians? You misunderstood my question. How many? I want to know. I want to know.
177.
Yes, but Foreign Minister, you have had United States senators like Ted Cruz saying publicly that at least 50,000 Christians have been murdered since 2009. If you're saying that number is wildly exaggerated, what is the number?
Bam. Answer.
I keep giving you the numbers, but clearly, you are not.
You're not. You're giving me the numbers since in the last 5 years.
Accept the numbers. Even this is what I'm saying. 102, 177, number injured 98, number abducted 7. Okay, so we are not hiding any facts. But as I said, we don't go about trying to identify a Nigerian's faith when they've lost their lives. That is
but
not.
Do you condemn? Do you condemn, Foreign Minister? Foreign Minister, do you condemn the attacks and the murder on Christians by Islamist groups in Nigeria?
Absolutely, 100%. I lost my father-in-law to an attack by an Islamic terrorist group, Boko Haram. So I myself am a victim. I've lost family members to attacks. And they were Muslims. But it doesn't matter whether they're Muslim or Christian, because their aim is to kill, to maim, so that they would achieve their objectives. And the number one enemy of Boko Haram is not a Christian. It is a Muslim who does not subscribe to their own brand of Islam.
Okay, I mean, Goldie Gamari, let me bring you back in there. I mean, there's no doubt that tens of thousands of moderate Muslims have also been murdered by Islamists. We can argue, till the cows come home, frankly, about what the exact numbers are. But clearly, a lot of Christian churches have been attacked. So have a lot of mosques, where it is believed that the people who are, observing their faith there are too moderate for the Islamists. So it seems like the Islamist groups like Boko Haram, like ISIS, are targeting pretty much anybody that they don't agree with, be that moderate Muslims or Christians. Is this not, as the Foreign Minister is putting forward, a case of it's not just Christians being targeted and persecuted. It's also moderate Muslims, and there's a general wider problem with Islamist terrorism.
Well, there's definitely a problem with Islamist terrorism, but just because Muslims are being murdered, it does not negate the fact that there is a targeted
Welcome,
ethnic
sis.
cleansing
Slander,
of
welcome.
Christian Nigerians. One does not negate the other. What we can conclude from this is that there is definitely an Islamist problem. Now, one thing that the Nigerian minister is purposely forgetting to put out there is that it's not just Boko Haram, it's also the Fulani militants. Not a lot of people know about the Fulani militants.
Bam.
The Fulani Islamists are also the ones who are generally targeting the Christian Nigerians, especially in the Plateau Belt. And I've had several Nigerian Christians come on and speak about this. In fact, I have seen videos where you have the Fulani militants, on their motorcycles with machetes. They're driving through various towns, and you have the Nigerian military, who's supposed to prevent them from going. They're getting orders to stand down and allow the Fulani militants to go through. Again, Pierce, the loss of life is horrible. But as you can tell from the minister, he's avoiding questions. He's avoiding eye contact. Instead of actually answering the questions, he's focusing more on trying to attack me and trying to, go after me because I'm not as familiar with the Constitution. I don't need to be familiar with the Constitution of Nigeria to understand that, over 50,000 Christians have been murdered since 2009. I don't have to be familiar with the Constitution of Nigeria to know that when someone yells Allahu Akbar before they massacre 200 Christians and burn Christian churches, that's not just banditry, that's jihad. And I think the reason that the foreign minister does not want to admit this is because they are somehow complicit in this. And, he is purposely saying that he is willfully ignorant, because how could the Nigerian government not know if those people who have been murdered are Christian or Muslim? The reason that he's avoiding saying that is because if they actually put out formal numbers about the numbers of Christians targeted and murdered, then they will have to admit that there was a genocide. They don't want to admit that there's a genocide, but that's exactly what's happening, and I'm glad President Trump and others are calling it out.
Goldie, thank you.
Prime Minister, finally, your response to that.
Finish work. Enough you respond.
Like I said, the lady and people like her trade in starting wars in faraway places where they have no contact, they have no understanding of, and they can do that from their armchairs from a safe distance. It's a real life situation. This lady would not know the difference between a Fulani man, a Tiv man, an Igbo man if they stood in front of her. But you can see clearly overnight, because it pays, she's probably making money out of it.
Actually, I'm getting $0 for this. I'm getting paid zero. I'm getting paid zero for this. I have been speaking out against human rights violations. Listen, Pierce, as you can tell, he's not able to actually answer that I'm saying. All he does is just attack me and attack my credibility. So I think this shows the viewers exactly where the Nigerian government is.
Exactly, Goldie. You just nailed it. He's rattled. That's what's happening to him. Look at him. Look at him.
They want to break up Nigeria.
Terrorist sympathizer.
Sudan.
I beg you.
She's not talking about Sudan anymore. She's not talking about South Sudan.
I actually have talked about Sudan in other episodes as well.
For Sudan to be dismembered.
He's clueless.
This is what they do. What they try to do to Africa. Nigeria is the largest country on the African continent.
Now, so
it is the
useless
largest shock
people.
absorber to the African continent.
Not only shock absorber.
Admitting migrants in terms of freedom
yes,
of
we
religion.
see that.
It's Africa's largest
jihadists, terrorists,
people like you
absorbing
who don't
terrorists.
really care about freedoms, about the freedoms of either Christians or Muslims or Africans, will continue to agitate for the breakup of Nigeria, for war. The same way that it's happening in South Sudan, and you've kept mum because you've moved on.
The reason that I know that you are working with the Islamic Republic of Iran is because the Islamic Republic puts out the same narrative about Balkanization. The Balkanization narrative is something that the Islamists constantly use.
That Africans are losing their lives. To you, it's just another black country to be broken up. You don't care who dies.
Your hands are the one that's covered in blood, not mine.
Bam! Oh, Goldie. I wish I could hug her.
Shame on you.
Yes.
Move on to your next project. Move on to your next, your disgrace to the Canadian nation. I'm shocked that you say that you actually practice as a politician in Canada. Move on to the next episode. Leave us alone.
For where?
Well, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you both very much indeed for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Pierre.
Goldie, you destroyed
Today's show is
me.
sponsored by One Skin, which can help all of us.
You
look
remove
even
cloth
younger.
from me
One
body,
Skin is
useless
redefining skincare
minister.
with cult favorites like OS1 Body, Face and Eye,
beg.
built around their patented OS1 peptide, which 4 months of ExpressVPN. If you
Ah,
can
wow.
The word of Trump towards Nigeria is but marvelous, as is comparable to what the Bible says, as Israel was under persecution in Egypt.
Welcome, my sister.
When
You see, as una
there
minister, take
comes
on give una
another
global
people
embarrassment.
that did not know
With
justice,
him white beard like goat. Oh.
Israelites went
Ow!
into deep
Also,
crisis. Their labor was double. It was double. To the stage, God allowed this thing to happen to the stage that they have to cry. When they cried out, Exodus chapter 3, verse 7 came up. God decided to say, it is time, let us go down. I've heard the cry of my people, and let us show concern. Depends on different interpretation of the Bible. But one version says, let us show concern. I have concern for my people in Egypt. I've heard their cry. Let me go down and deliver them from the Egyptian, from slavery. It is same thing with us in Nigeria. All Nigerian Christians have been in bondage right from 2021. In fact, it reached a stage that the Islamic terrorists have vowed that Christians should never lead them. 2021, there was organized massacre that cut across every place in the nation, Nigeria. But the media here are downplaying things for themselves. And this is where we are in trouble. I've performed several genocide burials, more than 70 times. Imagine some of the graves are 501. People killed in one night in Dogona Awa, village named Jemburu. The Nigerian government downplayed that one because the Islamic are controlling the government.
So the Nigerian government, if I may just jump in there, the Nigerian government has vehemently denied there is a genocide of Christians.
Welcome,
in Nigeria.
Michael.
Further, they say a lot of Muslims have also been killed by the likes of Boko Haram for being too moderate, and that therefore the issue of Islamists killing people is not restricted just to Christians, but also to moderate Muslims. What do you say to that?
So let me give you the background of what happened. This is the background of initial fact finding. They created some Boko Haram by many that are in hierarchy of the government.
Bam! Speak.
To
Preach,
remove
Pastor.
Goodluck, who is a Christian.
Preach, Reverend. Yes. All
This
of
is
us,
what
they
happened.
mad.
They steered them. They
Oh,
posted
wow.
every
Are you
place.
serious? Blindlander. Wow.
And the people run away. They were
God, I
relocated.
beg you.
And their target is to kill the Christian. Because Goodluck is a Christian. That's why Jesus, that's
Wow,
why
I'm
Goodluck
sorry
says,
to
"My
hear
blood
that.
is
Can
not
you
worthy
imagine?
for other people to die."
You know waiting, this is when you just talk so Nylander. There was a time I was in Abuja and I was going to a friend of mine were like, because I kind of as a child I remember memories of Jos when they used to have hails. You know, when hails used to fall, there was a season where they used to have hails that used to fall. So I remember as a child, I remember picking those hails. So I always wanted to go back to Jos. So when I was in Abuja, I was going to go with a friend of mine. We're actually already on our way. We're in transport. We entered transportation that was taking us to Jos. Before we got to the middle of the road, they started waving people to stop. Of course, we were clueless. We didn't know what was going on. So the driver had to stop. And then we asked, what is going on? What is going on? The driver said that they said there's attack going on in Jos, right? So we can't go. So we had to turn back. That was the one time I didn't even know that it was terrorism. I didn't have much information then. This thing when you talk now, it make me remember. Atlantic, welcome, oh. Eh?
He volunteered.
EB, welcome, welcome. I know, I don't miss you too.
It was finished counting.
Yeah, I did.
He knows the danger.
You know they get notification, EB. I was on yesterday. In fact, bless I don't do back to back throughout this week, to be honest. Now only today I not come out in the morning. I didn't have the time.
Had it been good luck, announce the true result of the election, many Christians in the north will go into the grave. Because it was really declared a jihad.
Wow.
In Borno, they will enter village on Sunday. They will meet people in the church and they will lock the church building with Christian inside. Anybody that is found outside, they will order him to go in.
Hey!
They lock the church.
Wow.
They put Gatling. They set the church building ablaze.
Oh my God.
All Christians that were inside, including the pastor, the elders, and everybody, were burned to death.
Oh my goodness.
This is the report that they will never tell. They move to other villages. They will find people in the church. They will bring them out and separate male and female.
Oh my goodness.
And all the men, they will assemble them for slaughtering.
Oh my God.
They will slaughter all of them, including the old, the youth, and everybody. And for the female, they will select the female for themselves and divide it among themselves. Sexual harassment will take place.
Reverend Dashwood, if I could ask you,
if
I could ask you, what is your message to Donald Trump? Because he was very moved by your words. What is your message to him?
My message to Donald Trump should never stop what he's doing, because what he's doing is not his own. Showing concern to Nigerian Christians, it tallies with Exodus chapter 3, verse 7. As God showed concern to Egypt, to Israel in Egypt, the Hebrews, so he has to show concern to us. Let me tell you, there's a genocide in Nigeria.
Bam!
And when it comes, it's not going to be at us alone. It's going to help the Muslims. When the Christians in the far north were able to escape to the Middle Belt, what will they left? You will hear them saying Muslims are also killed. By who? By
Same Muslim.
Because of set differences. Some were trained in Saudi Arabia. Some were trained in Afghanistan. Some were trained in Iran. All of them have different background of belief. They brought it into Nigeria. After there was no Christian in the close by to kill, the blood of innocent Christians that have killed is fighting them. Then they went into fighting each other. The sect of Isala are fighting the Sunni, fighting the Derika. That's why they'll meet them in the mosque. and kill them,
Wow.
chanting Allah Akbar because of different belief in Islam. And this thing has not been common. It has been happening from the time of Muhammad. Jihad. Sometime at a point, it will end up seeing same people of same faith killing each other. Like today, the Iswap and the Boko Haram were busy killing each other at Lake Chad. It's not a news anymore.
Well, it's clearly a very,
It's
clearly a serious situation, and it's definitely worthy of more global attention. So, Reverend, thank you very much indeed for joining me. I appreciate it.
Hey, una dey hear God go bless this reverend. God go bless reverend. Oh, reverend don't open everything up for them. I want to go to I will come back to this, but I need to go back to I wan show now. You know, say my girl, I know they follow celebrity, but I don't follow Nicki Minaj. I no send celebrity message, international or local. But you see Nicki Minaj, now my celebrity now. I dey follow her bumper to bumper. Let's go to Nicki, and then we come to the other videos.
Hello, everyone. I must say I am very nervous, so please.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Well, thank you, Ambassador Waltz, for this invitation. It is an honor to stand on this stage with you and the other distinguished speakers here today.
I want to center my celebrity
on the deadly threat faced by thousands of Christians in Nigeria. I would like to thank President Trump for prioritizing this issue and for his leadership on the global stage in calling for urgent action to defend Christians in Nigeria, to combat extremism, and to bring a stop to violence against those who simply want to exercise their natural right to freedom of religion or belief. I stand here as a proud New Yorker with a deep sense of gratitude that we live in a country where we can freely and safely worship God regardless of one's creed, background, or politics. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion, like I recently stated on social media. And we don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. We're way beyond thinking or expecting or assuming for, the person sitting next to you to have the exact same beliefs. We're beyond that. That's ridiculous. But that shouldn't make one person feel less safe than anyone in any room. Music has taken me around the globe. I have seen how people, no matter their language, culture, or religion, come alive when they hear a song that touches their soul. Religious freedom means we all can sing our faith regardless of who we are, where we live, and what we believe. But today, faith is under attack in way too many places. In Nigeria, Christians are being targeted, driven from their homes, and killed. Churches have been burned. Families have been torn apart, and entire communities live in fear constantly, simply because of how they pray. Sadly, this problem is not only a growing problem in Nigeria, but also in so many other countries across the world, and it demands urgent action. And I want to be clear. Protecting Christians in Nigeria is not about taking sides or dividing people. It is about uniting humanity. Nigeria is a beautiful nation with deep faith traditions and lots of beautiful barbs that I can't wait to see. When one's church, mosque, or a place of worship is destroyed, everyone's heart should break just a little bit. And the foundation of the United Nations, with its core mandate to ensure peace and security, should shake. I am joined here today by peace builders, by faith leaders, by those who saw violence, saw rising intolerance, saw the threats clearly before us, and chose not to look the other way. I am inspired by their work to build interfaith ties, to see the humanity across the lines which might divide us, and to fight for security and liberty for all those who pray. I look forward to our discussion today, and I hope it will encourage deepened solidarity for us to urgently work together to ensure every person can enjoy the right to believe, to worship, and to live in peace. Barbs, I know you're somewhere listening. I love you so very much. You have been the ultimate light in my life and career for so long. I appreciate you, and I want to make it very clear once again that this isn't about taking sides. This is about standing up in the face of injustice. It's about what I've always stood for my entire career, and I will continue to stand for that. For the rest of my life, I will care if anyone, anywhere, is being persecuted for their beliefs. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So let's go to the other videos. I don't want to show you that video of the church. I'm sure you guys saw what happened, right? I'm sure you guys saw what happened in that church. I'm not going to show it to you guys. It's not a pleasant sight at all. Even me, I dey get my heart dey beat as I dey watch am. By the way, ASUU don close down school until further notice. Say all universities must be closed down. I say all schools should be closed down. All schools ought to be closed down because these people are on a rampage. They are on a rampage. Nigerians need to shut down all schools from primary to tertiary institution. Okay, let's see. Look at politicians having a meeting with bandits.
Into truce with the bandits in Katsina State is 20 out of 34. Council chairmen and traditional leaders from the affected local governments were in attendance. The bandits, riding on motorcycles, arrived and hurriedly left the venue in less than an hour, celebrating victory over weakness, firing gunshots into the air. The bandits confidently and proudly rolled out all their demands to the attendees before taking response from the representatives of the affected LGAs. Journalists were restricted from filming at the venue for security reasons. Part of the deal is the release of all captives in the hands of the hoodlums, while on the other hand, local authorities promised to facilitate the release of suspected terrorists under the custody of security agencies and correctional facilities across the state. Residents across the areas covered by the peace deal are still casting doubt and asking questions about the effectiveness of the truce following renewed attacks on their communities. My only hope is for us to regain our freedom from these bandits. Let there be peace. Hundreds of people have lost their lives. Survivors have lost their livelihoods. Let us start a new life.
dawa gindin ice ka samu karaba.
I expect constant consultation with the bandits to prevent any breach of agreement. Let there be strong committees that would be meeting from time to time at least to strengthen and consolidate on the gains of the peace deal and make reviews where necessary. I think with this peace pact just reached, our rural communities will have relief, kind of, at least to enable them harvest their farm produce and face the reality of life. People, especially in southern and eastern Kankia, have suffered serious economic losses. One of the troubling questions residents of the affected communities are asking is why attacks still occur in some local governments covered by peace deal. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Kazana.
I'm sure some of you have heard this,
15 minutes to address
but I'll play it again.
The dictionary defines genocide as, because I knew you were going to ask, so I got ready for you. The dictionary defines genocide as the deliberate and systematic killing or persecution of a large number of people from a particular national or ethnic group with the aim of destroying that nation or group of people. And with that definition, I'm going to turn my answers to a question or questions to the majority of you who are here today. Let me give my responsive background. I was born in 1952 in Zaria. I was born in the military barracks. I grew up in Kaduna, Zaria, Kaduna, Kano. So my answer does not come out of just newspaper, but experience. The first riot I ever experienced, with all due respect, was against people from the East. I was there during the Zaria riots when your crime was that you were Igbo. They didn't tell me, I saw it. People were being killed right before my eyes. And that was a soldier trying to prevent it. And I remember the man coming back with a deep dent in his military helmet as the guys were screaming and walking the roads of Zaria and screaming, Tawaye. Tawaye means our eyes have opened. Following the first coup by Kaduna and Zogu, they felt their eyes had opened. So there certainly was genocide because people were being dragged out of their house and killed. But then when it comes to the hot case on hand, is there religious genocide in Nigeria? Firstly, I'd like to say that whatever issue is in Nigeria, because it was not dealt with, it became a snake with 5 heads or more heads. And so when you are looking at each case, you need to know which head you are dealing with. Bandit is a head. Banditry is a head. Terrorism is a head. Fulani herdsmen carrying guns and invading people's farm, chasing them out, is another head. The guys who demand money, what did they call it? Kidnappers is a head, and there are many more heads. And then deliberate chasing of people away from their land and immediately putting another tribe there is a head. So, are these things happening in Nigeria or not? I'll just take you down some historical cases and I will ask you, is it really happening in Nigeria? Maitasine, in the 70s, a man who rose and began to teach a form of Islamic cleansing that says anybody who was not of that particular belief must die. Is that not genocide? And is that fair in a secular nation? Zango Kataf. Zango Kataf, in case you don't know, what you know as Kaduna State was once including Katsina. And on grounds of religion, Katsina State was cut off because the majority of Katsina State was Islamic. And what remained as Kaduna State was majority what we call Southern Kaduna, Zango Katav, people who are so and so, I don't want to mention all the tribes. And despite cutting and now having Kaduna State, the south of Kaduna State is 99% Christian, producing Professor Ishaya Audu, first Vice Chancellor Amadou Bello, producing General Ishaya Bameyi, producing former Deputy Governor Central Bank Melafia. But somebody was still not satisfied and wanted their land. And particularly under the watch of a particular governor, probably 23,000 of these people died. Is it so? Is it not so? And if people of that number died, I mean, Zangu Kata, people were being hacked, cut like animals because you wanted their land and because they didn't follow your religion. Is that genocide or not? There was beheading in Kano because, what's the name of the evangelist? Reinhard Bonnke came to hold a crusade, and they said, Christian crusade is not allowed. Not only did they destroy the equipment, they cut Christians. Is that genocide or not? Deborah Samuel, a girl in a polytechnic in Nigeria, in the north, she saw on the platform of her class that people were posting religious things. She said, hey, this platform is for our study, not for religion. They went, they killed her. And when it became a court case, 52 barristers who hold the religious faith different from hers showed up to defend the guys who killed her. Is that genocide or not? Evangelist Eunice in Greater Abuja went out 5 a.m. to do what we used to do down south here. When we were kids, I was born a Muslim. My name is Ahmed. My mother is Aishat. My brother is Mudashir. My sister is Khadija. My dad is Salau. But we knew people who would wake up and be waking people to prayer. That was what Evangelist Eunice did, and they hacked her to death. And then, if all that is not genocide, and if it is just religious intolerance, what happened when Melafia came out and said, I am from Southern Kaduna, and 23,000 of our people died, and actually when we call people who should come and defend them, the military, the police, they don't show. It is after the people are gone that they show. And they say they have it on good record that some mysterious helicopters are coming to give these people equipment. Is that not a plan, a genocide? If you say that is not genocide, what shall we say of what's going on, particularly states in the north that are of Christian conviction? Benue State, even today's Vanguard reports Kwande local government, where people were hacked, and the plan is to chase them out, and some people come to occupy. And when I say some people, let me be bold to say Fulani herdsmen and some of the guys carrying guns come to occupy. Because when I was a little kid, one of the songs on radio in the north was saying, Babankasan Shehu Damfodiyo. That song says that the whole of Nigeria is the land belonging to Shehu Damfodiyo. And until that is achieved, they've reached Kwara. It may be Lagos. So somebody somewhere does not want this kind of facing the reality. Is there a genocide? You will have to answer. I haven't answered any of your question yet. But let me just say, 270 girls were carried out of a school. They were all Christians. The people who carried them committed 5 crimes. 1, child molestation, because Nigeria's criminal law says that if you sleep with anyone under, is he 18? Which is the age of consent. It's a crime. They raped these girls. 2, if you carry a person against their will across border, it's trafficking. I thought we have human trafficking laws. 3, you force these people to change religion. 4, you force them into marriage. That is the 4th criminal offense. 5, some of them were violently raped. And then 6, some of them were killed. The same people who committed this crime, you said you forgave them. Who forgave them? Where were they forgiven?
Bam.
Which court of law? Is it the government that said, okay, we suspend the criminal laws of Nigeria in the case of Boko Haram, who carried this girl, whatever of the Hydra heads carried the girls? Who did it? So, if you now say you forgave them, where are they? It is rumored that some of them are now repented and you brought them into the army. How can a man who killed and committed all this crime now qualify to be a defender of the nation? It is rumored that some of them are in the Air Force. How can a man like that defend the Federal Republic of Nigeria? How can we entrust him in the country where I live at the moment, in England? If you touch a child, you know rape and more, you touch a child in an indecent way, you will be in the register of child molesters.
Bam.
And the moment you change local government, from one local government to the other, you must go and report yourself as a child molester so you can be on the books of child molesters. Once the court have passed a case against you that you molested, anytime you move, you don't need the police to do it. You have to go and report yourself. There are jobs you cannot get. But in our own case, we said these guys are forgiven. 1, who forgave? 2, where were they forgiven?
Exactly.
3, where did we see their repentance?
Exactly.
4, where is the fruit of their repentance? So we cannot say that
happened a while ago. Yeah, a few hours ago. Yeah. I can't bring the video here. It's really, really disturbing.
2,
Welcome,
you
Elizabeth.
cannot say there is no religious intolerance. If you say there is no religious intolerance, explain to.
You understand? It's I can't bring the video here. It's really disturbing. It happened a few hours. It's been circulated on X for so much. I think it's even trending right now. I think it's even trending. This is what is going on in Nigeria. And then I wonder, this is Matthew Oshimolowe. Am I saying his name right? Oshimolowe. I can't even say his last name. Sorry, guys, forgive me. But where have these people been? Why are they now coming crawling out to talk? I'm not knocking what he said, though. What he said is the truth. But why is he coming out now? Before he got to this place, where have they been? On Sunday now, Southern Christians go wake up, wear lipstick, wear shoe, go church. Not one person is saying, you know what? Let's make sure we protest. Let's come with our placard in front of the church. It will not happen. Even if your pastors are not doing it and your GOs, what about you as a Christian? Can't you mobilize yourselves? I leave that for now. I'm happy he's speaking up, because the man that screamed from the grave of where he was burying people, his voice got to Trump. Now in video Trump see. Now in video he see. Let me go and play these videos. Let me see. Okay. Aha. Wait 1 second.
I mean, what actually is the motive for killing particularly Christians? I mean, you can say, and I love the way that Nicki Minaj put it, this is not about picking sides, but it is about faith, and more Christians than anyone in that nation are being executed. Why?
That's absolutely right. And much of it started from
Regina, welcome. Yes, it is live.
Became militant, began attacking, and as Ambassador Walton said, began kidnapping schoolgirls. That continues now, even to today, to raise funds or to buy weapons and all sorts of things. It could have started earlier when the Sharia criminal laws were passed. We're supporting a case right now at the Supreme Court of Nigeria that's being heard right now. So this is wonderful timing to help overturn the death penalty blasphemy laws. There's a young Sufi man, actually, Yahya Sharif Aminu, who's facing the death penalty for alleged blasphemy for song lyrics. So it could have started then.
For song lyrics?
For song lyrics shared over WhatsApp. That's absolutely right. At the Supreme Court, September 25th, a Kano state lawyer said they plan to execute this young man for alleged blasphemy. So it could have started there. In the last 5 years, though, we've seen an extreme rise in that Middle Belt region. Thousands of Christians killed every single year, 2020, 2021, 22, 23, and now with 7,000 just this year. And since the president's designation, at least 78 have been killed across many states. When they come into these villages, they shout Allahu Akbar, they attack the churches first. I visited with one of the communities, a number of the villages that had faced these attacks just south of Jos, and spoke with a new pastor there because the previous pastor had been beheaded and his head was found behind a church. But they were still worshiping there that same morning. We went to another church where they had come back from the internally displaced persons camps, which were horrible. They were so terrible. They said, we're going to risk it being with these militants there. And I enter this church, it's empty. There's a white shining cross there, and there's no roof because it was burned off. And all of a sudden, hundreds of villagers come in and begin singing hymns praising God. And it was just, you go there and we say we want to help them, but they're a witness to us as well of the power of their faith, of the power of Christ. So what they are going through is unimaginable across Plateau, Benue, Taraba, but their faith is so strong. That's in great encouragement that we can actually turn the tide of this persecution.
You see, you have invaders in Nigeria right now, terrorists unaliving people, and then you hear people come and say, oh, they are coming to take our oil. They are coming. You have invaders literally in your backyard taking your gold, digging it. Chinese just they dig, they go. In fact, Chinese they even arm some of these people. They're big.
Abdurrahman Jankari is one of the most notorious bandits in Northwest. He was even the one who masterminded killing of late Aminu Bey, Assistant Commissioner of Police and Area Commander of Dutama Zone. Now when he killed him, because it was in my local, he left from Kulfi police station to where he will go and do the operation because he was a very fine officer, incorruptible, and all this, everybody knows about him. Now, when he went for that operation and they encircled him based on certain kind of betrayal from within his own cycle, I believe, when he was killed by that Jankari, the following day, all the big bandits in the area had a party in Saskia, one village about 10 kilometers from Dustuma. And they are celebrating the killing of Amin, later Amin. And Jankaro was the uniform of Amin. And they were hailing him. Everybody.
He went to the party?
Yes, to
with the uniform of Amin.
Of Amin. Now everybody know, and from time to time he would put the uniform and be going around the town. So when this so-called peace deal which they arranged, When he came for that meeting, he came with the uniform of with the name Omoye. During a peace deal. During a peace deal. So you have the security who are there, you have the police, who they kill Assistant Commissioner of Police. So, and why I tell you it cannot be a normal peace? Because the conditionalities were given by the bandit. The bandit directed that no police should come with uniform. Police who were there, not alone, went with uniform.
Now they hear see things when they come out. Look at wetin una government they hide under cloth. Now this one's T-Pain one you stay win the election 2027. Now this all these bandits maybe T-Pain they plan to use perhaps allegedly. Now they want use. Now maybe they get confident. They are sure they are the rise. Everything has been blown up now. Monasio, you know the church they went to. See, they were calling on their governor and security agents to come and save them. People stranded tonight in that same place where those Fulani terrorists spied several people and kidnapped multiple worshippers during a church attack in Eruku, Kwara. Look now, listen. Now, let this video I feel play. I don't feel play the main one. I beg.
We are still stranded. This is our first car. There's nobody inside again. We are still stranded. Please come to our rescue. We are still stranded. Please. This is a second car. So please, reporting live from Kwara State precisely. We are heading to Kogi State. And we are still stranded. We are here since 6 o'clock. See our car, see the other car. Let's go. See. Everywhere. I just stranded. I just stranded, please. Governor Abraham from Kwara State, Governor from Kogi State, come to our rescue. Commissioner for Information, please come to our rescue. We are still stranded. Everyone is stranded, please.
No lights. Look at how dark everywhere is. Hey, God.
I said the ọlọ́pàá sí ibi kan ràn wá lọ́wọ́ torí ilẹ̀ tó ẹjọ́. Everybody is stranded. See, president, all of us, please, we are stranded. Don't even know what is maybe they are still coming back. Don't know anything. Just add that about 5 people has died. So please, Commissioner for Information, please come to our rescue. Governor Dudu, come to our rescue, please. This is Comrade Samitopola Tobi from Federal Protecting Video, reporting live in the Kwara State. I'm ready to.
Oh, this is the church. I can't stream it. I beg. I can't. But you people can see the small video there.
In Nigeria. Why is the global community silent? According to a 2023 New York Post article, quote, more than 52,000 Christians have been butchered or hacked to death for being Christians since 2009 in Nigeria.
It is indeed a massacre, and it needs more attention. It's devastating and unthinkable what's happening to the Christian community across the Middle Belt and the northern region of Nigeria. It is a complex situation, but at the core, the people that we talk to, and again, firsthand testimonies of believers that I've spoken with who've been abducted by Boko Haram, had guns held to their heads to ask them to deny Christ and to convert to Islam.
So how can we help our Christian brothers and sisters in Nigeria?
First is to just be willing to step into their stories, read the stories from outlets like Global Christian Relief. There's many of others out there covering the stories. You have to look to find them, but enter and engage the stories. Pray for your persecuted family. So I would just say make that part of your DNA as a believer to make this story something worth caring about. Share it with neighbors, friends, churches, but it's up to us to lift the story up because the media is not doing it.
Nigerian Christian South Church left the building. Mona, remember the people when they go adopt. This is the eyewitness evidence about the Islamist terrorists who abducted the girls and pied the vice principal and injured security guard. They wore army uniforms and spoke Fulani. Okay? Yeah. Nigeria is a failed state. Tinubu needs to step down. People need to be trending. Tinubu needs to go. I don't know what Nigerians are waiting for. Mona, listen to eyewitness.
Na ce kada ku ɗauke ta, sun ka ja ta sun ka hito. Bayan sun hito na buɗe kofar baya na hita. Ko da na hita na yi tahiya na duba gehen katanga su ne zagaye gehen katangar nan. Na zo zan taka da ni in hita. Sun ka gyara bindiga ina yin haka na gane su na juyo baya. Na dawo ta gehen gidan ga guda. Na zo zan taka da ni in hita sun ka gyara bindiga na juyo na dawo cikin gida. Daga ni sai ɗaure gaba ban da ɗan kwali ban da takalma na hito. Ko da na hito sun jawo ta sun yi shiyoyin gada ita. Ina kiranta sun ja ta zuwa hostel na hito ina kuka na koma cikin gida na ce ma sauran ku ɓoye. Ni zan hita. Suka ce mama kada ki hita in kika hita za su kashe ki domin suna nan gamucin su nan ina ji na ce ku yi hankuri in hita. Kada su dawo su isko ni tunda suna kiran mu je su dawo su kama ni. Ko da dun na duka gida
So I know they hear Hausa. Unfortunately, it's not subtitled as well. But I think here the title here says you were young men in army camouflage speaking Fulani. This is the wife of the Kebbi vice principal that they pied by bandits. So when I was reading up on it, apparently they had wanted to abduct her. She now said, why are they trying to abduct her after they've pied her husband? You know, she faced off with them and said, well, they've pied her husband. Why are they trying to abduct her again? I think they left her. I don't know. That's what I read, though. Me, we're waiting the happen for PDP. PDP people, they call, make Trump come help them for democracy. Whoa. Nigeria, Nigeria ti lule. Tinubu don carry Nigeria trabaye. Una hear say Tinubu don go South Africa. Trump ain't going to no South Africa. Trump not dey go there. Remember I said they say he go meet Trump for G20. Trump not dey go since September. Trump don talk say not dey go G20. So wetin T-Pain in the midst of this mess that is going on, your president, he dey ready, he fit even wear cloths to travel. Let's say from there they go Angola. Have you people heard? Hey, Okoko Bioko. So PDP now they are begging that America should come and see. Make a plan for now.
I want to call on President Trump. What is at stake is not just genocide against Nigerian Christians. He should come and save democracy in Nigeria. Democracy is under threat. I'm calling on all other developed nations, all advanced democracies, come and save Nigeria. Come and save democracy. Because I cannot understand how a serving minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will be leading talks, armed talks, and then with the active connivance or support of the police to come and create mayhem here. I have said it, we are willing to lay down our lives to protect our office, to protect our democracy, to protect our mandate. So Nigerians, you are watching what is happening. International community, you are seeing the threat that Nigerian democracy is. Come and save us. Come and save us. Want to call
when una dey chop alone, when e reach time for una to talk true, una not talk. We do election 2023, all of una chop clean mouth, nobody come out. Una dey shout now because e don affect una. I'm going to show you people video where police on both sides, they were dragging each other like I better pass my neighbor generator. I'm coming no. See, terrorists attack CAC. Okay, this is just talking. Mike Arnold here says the administration's intentional and systematic denial, degrading and slow buying of 4 to 10 million innocent eyewitness IDPs is legally considered genocide. Other leaders have been indicted for similar inactions in the International Criminal Court. This is a separate crime from the ongoing unalivings in the north. Una dey hear. If he were as smart as they say, he would stop the ridiculous denial ask for help, and immediately do everything in his power to serve and restore the displaced generation. This would be a sign of real care and good faith. All it will take is for him to save lives, is to simply recognize them. The world has money, means, and mandate to take care of all IDPs on the planet, but it's withheld in Nigeria because of his ongoing denial. Imagine holding the cure for a dying child and withholding it because of politics. Tinubu is playing politics with the lives of Nigerians. I told you people, this man is ready to rule over ashes. We shouted and talk. You no get wetin we not talk. You no get people when I not fight with on life, off life. I can't turn to Mike Tyson. We shout. See where we are today. We are still talking. We not fit give up. Imagine holding the cure for a dying child and withholding it because of politics. Innocent displaced Nigerians unalive from his intentional neglect every day. Yes, he is at least as much responsible for Nigeria's disgrace as anyone else. Every day Tinubu delays recognizing IDPs is more innocent blood on his eternal account and further proof of his guilt. Somebody shout hallelujah in the church. Yeah. Republican senator has introduced legislation on what's happening. Protect Nigerian Christians passed the Nigerian Religious Freedom Accountability Act of 2025. Let's just take a quick listen.
And the east side of Manhattan, right in front of the United Nations, right here on the property. And the focus today, radical Islamic terrorists are slaughtering Christians by the tens of thousands. And the Trump administration is now telling the Nigerian government to make it stop, or else. And he fills in that blank for them. Republican Senator Ted Cruz has introduced legislation on what's happening. He was with me yesterday.
There is literally no country on planet Earth where Christians are murdered at anywhere near the rate they are being murdered in Nigeria.
Stand by, Ambassador. Stand by, Harris.
The east side of Manhattan, right?
I don't hear him, Abi. See, panic, gunshots as terrorists storm Eruku town in Kwara. Force residents, travelers to flee. Let me see if I can manage to play this one.
Jesus Christ. This is 18th November 2025. On my way coming back from Federal Protecting Bridge, Niger State. So we are able to approach, like we are coming from Lawrence. So this is our car. Everybody has run out. So everybody in the bush. See, they are shooting. Can you hear the gun? They are shooting. So everybody has to packet it down. Please come and help us. Come to our rescue, please. Police, vigilante. We're all in trouble. Everybody is in the bush. See everybody. They are still shooting now. See the community. Let me zoom it. Everybody is in trouble. Please. Come and help us in Kogi State. See everybody run the scatter. See. They are presently in the town now. Presently, see everybody. See, they are still shooting. Jesus Christ. This is 18th.
This message is for my president, President Tinubu. President Tinubu, I think it is time for you to resign now. How do you feel comfortable being president over a failed nation? How do you feel comfortable being president over kidnapping, over genocide, over losing? We are losing our gallant soldiers. How do you feel, president, over failing democracy? How do you feel being president over failing judiciary? President Tinubu, if you genuinely love Nigeria, it is time for you to resign now. President Tinubu, resign honorably now. You are not capable enough to rule our nation at this junction. Things are getting bad. Our children are getting kidnapped. People are dying every day. No hospitals, no good roads, poverty everywhere.
everywhere, hardship everywhere. President Tinubu, I beg you, please, please, it is time for you to go. It is time for you to relax. You have done your bit. Allow young people to come in and fix this nation. This nation cannot sink under your watch. How can they kidnap children, girls? Nobody is really even talking about it. Nobody is making move. You now have soldier, a cancer in Wike, destroying our democracy under your watch, President Tinubu. Our democracy has gone cuckoo. Our democracy has gone gaga under your watch, President Tinubu. It is time for you to resign now. It is time for you to resign now. How do you feel comfortable being president over poverty, multidimensional poverty? Common malaria and typhoid are taking thousands per day. Kidnappers are taking their home. Genocide are taking their home. Democracy is dying. Our judiciary are now singing. They are standing on your mandate instead of the mandate of the people. Dear President Tinubu, it is time for you to take the bold step and step aside. Let us have young people to fix our nation. We cannot continue like this. It is time for you to go. President Tinubu, resign now.
Everybody ought to be doing videos on social media and blasting this. They ought to. President Tinubu resign now.
Strategist President Bola Tinubu, Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces of Nigeria. Mr. President, sir, if kidnapping and killing of innocent citizens was Olympic sports, the highest number of gold medals will come from your country, Nigeria. We fit not fit qualify for World Cup or any other thing, but you see kidnapping, killing of innocent citizens. If they hold World Cup competition for them or Olympic competition, the highest gold medalists will come from your country. Because you see this your country, Nigeria. So even if
I just see your neck, I just see your tweet, your message now. Me don't they talk this thing, not be today, I start today. Me, I not believe, first and foremost, I not believe in celebrity. I know they follow celebrity, I don't know no celebrity, I'm not interested, I don't care for their life because they don't do anything for you. With everything that is happening in Nigeria, not one of anybody's or any of the people that they call them favorites, not one is shining torchlight on it, not one. Apart from Tunde Headnut, when he carry the temple for head and macaroni, now because of Mr. Macaroni, all Mr. Macaroni tweets from 2020, now he make me even know Macaroni. That's why I even follow him. I patronize Macaroni. If I want to watch anything when funny, I go Macaroni page. Now because of 2020. Your celebrity, you guys have very useless celebrities. You people do not have celebrities. Nigerians do not have celebrities. They are useless. Anywhere belle face celebrities. If you remove your support from them, all that relevance they have will overnight it will crash. But Nigerians don't know their power. This is a time where people ought to be calling out their favorite and saying, no, you did not talk. So for that, people will just start to unfollow en masse. They unfollow en masse. None of your celebrities, they don't care. They don't give a damn. Your celebrities are just as bad as your politicians. Heck, it is your politicians that are funding their lifestyles. All that BBL they are doing, all that whatever, luxury life, more than no vessel, luxurious life, luxury life, everything where they do. Now your politicians, guess where the money is come? Your pockets. And Nigerians will gullibly, foolishly, they follow them like packs, like rats. I don't believe in celebrity, first of all. So you cannot catch me, you cannot carry me trabaye with that one. Lie. I no send your papa message. I feel see you, I go waka. Now many celebrities that they meet every day, I know they see them as anything. They are just regular people to me. It's a shame, oh. It is a imagine you have footballers that went to play football internationally. They could not even shine the torchlight. I mean, they even print t-shirt for their back. End Christian genocide in Nigeria. Congo players end the massacre in Congo. Not one of them. Is that not a shame? I beg.
If every other sector no dey work, doctors fit dey on strike, nurses dey on strike, ASUU on strike. You see terrorism and kidnapping. The sectors where they work for Nigeria is corruption, crime, and criminality. Those ones, they know they go on strike if they work efficiently. And unfortunately, the country get president we're supposed to be master strategists, but with no strategy to protect innocent lives. Anywhere president go, they greet them with on their mandate, they shall collapse. Even for judiciary meeting, nobody knows exactly which mandate everybody they fall and collapse on. Whether it is a mandate of insecurity, of hunger, or of renewed hopelessness, the country just they move. Every day person go wake up, it is one barbaric story of the killing of innocent Nigerians. We just they wait for turn by turn Nigerian PLC. Within the last 1 week, in case we never know, the news of the killings where don't go on. Just yesterday, bandits, terrorists attacked a girls' secondary school for Kebbi State. They killed the vice principal, abducted more than 30 students. Till now, they look for them. Tomorrow, when I go, they deny waiting United States, they talk. Then for Zamfara State, APC chieftain was killed by gunmen, Alhaji Umar Moriki. Abi, when I won't deny that one too. And then they carried how many people from that attack? Then the most barbaric and unfortunate news, the person they even here said they don't come confirm now. The killing of a Nigerian brigadier, Brigadier Muhammadu Uba, by ISWAP terrorists. The time where that story been come out, they deny, they say no, they don't capture them, they don't do, because people been don't talk, say they don't capture that man, they don't kill him. They deny him. Now they don't come confirm him. Plus the last message where he put out, say his phone, the battery was 31% before the terrorists, the later go and cycle him. They carried a fine military officer, killed him in cold blood, and posted it on social media. Tomorrow when US talk, they go say, no, Nigeria is a sovereign nation. We are a sovereign nation. They should not interfere. This is the sovereignty. In a sovereign nation, terrorists will kidnap a military officer, kill and murder them in cold blood, and post on social media with nothing done about it. That is the sovereignty when Nigeria, they practice Oriburuku sovereignty. Oriburuku sovereignty. Sovereignty that cannot protect both armed forces, both civilian. Everybody is at the mercy of terrorists. Oriburuku Leshe Nigeria. Then come and hear, according to Dr. Bashir Kofi, the incident where they happened for Katsina State. This is the interview. The video is everywhere online. They said that one of the assistant commissioner of police, Oga Aminu Dai, where they know say be one good officer, they take the fights to bandits. He was encircled by bandits. According to the doctor where they grant the interview, he said he was probably sold out by people from his own side. From his own side. Tomorrow they say that they do repentant terrorists, that they put them into armed forces, that they put them into police. They said he was probably sold out by men from his own side. The bandits, they encircle him, they killed the officer, and they did no end there. They took the officer uniform, wear him, and the day that he was killed, celebration among many bandits group for the state. And then on the day where they hold their so-called peace stakeholder terrorist meeting for Katsina, now the bandits, they give terms and conditions. They say make police officers know where their uniform come the stakeholder summit, but the bandit leader wore the uniform of the slain officer. Come the peace deal, see with a uniform that boldly carried the name of the police officer Aminu Dai on his body. Nigeria sovereignty, Nigeria sovereignty. Terrorists go kill police, it no go end there, go wear in uniform. Come stakeholder meeting with government, and tomorrow they go say that no, US should not intervene. US should not do because they are coming for mineral resources. They are coming for this. Meanwhile, during bandit stakeholder meeting, terrorist stakeholder meeting, they share minerals for them. They share soft drink. As a Nigerian, if you're hungry and you know even fit seafood chop, you are likely to get food and refreshment to take if you attend this insecurity and be bandits or terrorist stakeholder meeting for Katsina. They go give you a drink, you go take. Maybe that is part of the mineral resources where they say US they come for. Oriburuku Leshe. Ori buruku leshe Nigeria. When US talk say, okay, we'll take out the terrorists, some people begin to protest, not against terrorists, but against US, where talk say they should kill people who are killing you. Ori buruku leshe. Ori buruku Nigeria PLC night with the duo. The same insecurity where President Tinubu tell Jonathan say on issues of insecurity, the buck must stop at the president desk. He said if Jonathan cannot protect Nigerians, he should resign. When will President Tinubu resign for failing to protect Nigerians? Nigerians, the day where all of us wake up and decide to put value on our lives, the better for us. Now so the killings, they go on for Plateau, for Benue. Every day they are burying people. Nigerians, whatever pressure where the world go need to put, any government to put on Nigeria to stop this irresponsibility and protect innocent lives, Nigeria, let that pressure be put. And the world must know what is going on in the country so that this shedding of innocent blood can stop. President Bola Tinubu and APC government, have you lost the capacity to protect Nigerians? Master strategist president, where is the strategy on protecting the lives of Nigerians being your primary responsibility? Nigerian government, shame on all of you. These things can happen to both military, both police, both civilian. Then this has descended into not even just a failed state, but a state that needs intervention very, very quickly. If not, everybody victimhood is waiting at the doorstep. Nigeria, shine your eye. 2027, you must prove that the power of the people is greater than the criminals in power. May God give Nigerians the courage and wisdom. My name is Peter for Nigeria.
You are still talking about 2027. I never know what they happen. Hey. Let me read this. This is from Great Oracle. Look at what Shegumi wrote. The martyrdom of Brigadier General, that brigadier when they kpai yo. The martyrdom of Brigadier General Musa Uba Ramatulahi Alahi. Boko Haram are fighting a proxy war armed by a ghost international interest. You dey hear? Our weakness comes from neglecting a teeming number of youth without either education nor employment. Whose fault is that? So they become a ready-made soldiers for the enemies of the state to be exploited. Okay? Let us not rush in trying to prove to Trump. We are fighting them from the stalemate our military has achieved so far as we strategies. English no even join. Join. Strategies how to cut off their supplies and their foreign sponsors. We should know we are not fighting a ragtag army, but people supported by outsiders. These same outsiders that are threatening us with false pretentious claim. If they truly want to assist us, it's not by contentious threat and blackmail. If anything is martyrdom has proven is that Muslims are actively engaged in the fight against it. You see this Mumu man? The man wants to use this man's unaliving on live TV. You want to use it as propaganda to sell his own demonic narrative. That's what this man is doing. This is you people Shegumi. Now, 3 things he talk for here now. In mouth not dey one place. Meanwhile, he's tweeting from a mile away. I hear he has run away from Nigeria. He's calling the unaliving a brigadier general of a country a martyrdom. Nigeria. He said Boko Haram now is the defense, the defender of Boko Haram are fighting proxy war. Please tell me, all the people that are shouting, oh, they are coming to invade us. You have invaders that are they are unaliving you, buying your brigade, buying your military, buying your police are wearing their uniform. Who you be? Now in this man respond, Gumi is a stupid fellow. I'm telling you. Stupid is putting it lightly. Yeah. Let me read this tweet to you. This person's handle is marked safe from Western propaganda. She says, Tinubu chose to eat with the devil. Let's hope his spoon is long enough. They helped him win that presidency. Now they want things he cannot give them. The world has changed for them. They have new demands like invade the Sahel, Don't partner with BRICS. Kick Russia out. Don't eat China resources. Let us continue to F the Naira. Help our European allies who lost access to Russia's energy. Tinubu thought all he had to do was remove fuel subsidy and devalue the Naira. Now they want his firstborn child. Nigeria is on the precipice. This one, the devils, the terrorists when go negotiate with to win presidency. Now that one na those people boys na Tinubu want to win election 2027 when e no go happen. Hey, the brigadier dey kill a whole brigadier of an entire country. No pim. That's what she's trying to say. Exactly, that's what she's trying to say, that the one sponsoring the terrorists are telling us that we should spare the people buying is and stop the same from US from coming into Gumi. I'm telling you, he's a bona fide madman. Instead of this person, this handler, to speak from, tell us what you are talking about here. Anyway, let's keep moving. Now, una know Bulama Bukati. I think he works for the DSS. I don't know. I'm not sure now. I don't know. Let's take a listen to what he says. Let's take a listen. Maybe
I want to thank everyone, Prof. People made very insightful comments. Professor Sani.
See Silver Birdman. Not be Silver Birdman, be that.
Thank you for your comments. Christopher Isike, Professor Christopher Isike from Pretoria University, I think made a very important point around the goal of research, ultimate goal being search for truth. Prof, he has put me in a very difficult position. I have never done this, and I hate to.
Gravy, welcome.
Narrative of.
I see what you talk for, dear.
Versus them. I have never seen Nigerians as Muslims or Christians, Southerners or Northerners. I try to see Nigerians as human beings who all have right to live with dignity and to prosper in their.
What did you say about the unalivings now?
A Muslim being killed in Nigeria, being mob lynched in Nigeria. I will give him 3, Professor, and I will tell you that there are very, very many. Professor Isike himself, Professor, said he grew up in northern Nigeria, where he said every Friday Muslims pick up arms, just go out from the mosque to kill Christians.
Yes.
He should have gone further to tell us how he survived. And Tifunke grew up in northern Nigeria. I mean, why are we doing this to Nigeria? Why are we doing this to Nigeria? How could it be that in the 21st century, Muslims every Friday go out to the mosque, out of the mosque to attack Christians and kill them just anyhow? Please. And this is a professor from a university talking this and saying, I grew up in the north. Professor General Al-Kali, please read out his story. General Idris Al-Kali, Muhammad Idris Al-Kali. He was a retired general of the Nigerian army, I think 3-star general. He left his home Abuja to his hometown Gombe State. He was stopped in Jos. He was killed by youth in Jos for being a Muslim traveler, and his body was put in the well, and his car and phones were taken away. It took about 2 years, and in the end, the culprits were arrested, and they led the Nigerian army to where they put his body inside a dead well. His case is still ongoing in Jos, and that happened in September 2018.
And you people did not say anything.
2022.
You did not think that you needed to fight to make sure that doesn't continue.
4 children. I can give you all the names, and you can search online. Was stopped in Anambra traveling, and she was killed with all the children, including the fetus inside her womb. In August 2021, Sheikh Nahir Bauchi's student went on Maulud celebration from southern Nigeria, where they lived. There are northerners who lived in the south. They went to Bauchi State. On their way back, they were stopped in just 25 of them were killed, travelers, because they were Fulani, because they were Muslims. I didn't want to cite any of these examples, and there are very many of them. There were challenges in the 1980s in northern Nigeria, including violence, and Amina Salah was right when she mentioned Zongom Katab. There were crises in Kafanchan. Even 2-3 years ago, a Muslim traveler has to check when leaving Abuja for Kano that there are no people at Gwanungora, people who claim to be Christian who stop travelers and they fish out Muslims and kill them. I don't believe Christianity preaches that, and I don't brush Christianity with that, and I don't blame Christians for that. There is a fringe of Muslim groups that are misinterpreting Islam, misapplying it, killing people in the name of religion. They are a very small minority, even in Dr. Majid's community. He is right that there is an issue with extremism in Kogi State. I know that very well because I have studied it very well, and I have lived with people from Kogi State, and I know that there are extremist elements in that community, but even him will not tell you the majority of Kogi Muslims are extremists. Of course, then that, but Professor, my heart bleeds for citing examples and saying Muslims have been killed. I have never done this, and this is.
I beg you, you know what talk.
Talk
what you want talk.
Open their hearts to understand that.
Takia in action. Now Takia 9 day in action. So
it is mainly Christians that are
all
affected.
of a sudden, you people are now sounding like something is affecting you.
It's incredibly offensive. Christians are being killed. They are being targeted, and it is wrong, and we must stop it. Muslims are being killed, they are being targeted, and it is wrong, and we must stop it. Now, the second person, Moses Ochono, Professor, I think, or Dr. Moses, raises a very important point, the question of extremism. Now, I have busied myself for the past 20 years with studying and countering violent extremism because it is easier to understand, it is easier to define, and it is more problematic. It is when one's extremist behavior leads to violence. But then when we talk about non-violent extremism, it's very difficult to define in the first place. Who gets to define who is an extremist? Is it when I disagree with your point of view of a particular social issue or religious issue that I have become an extremist, and therefore Northerners are extremists for wanting Sharia law, for example? Or is it who gets to define extremism and how? But if it is violent extremism, I am all for it. We need to define it. If your behavior leads to being aggressive against another person with a different behavior, then that becomes a problematic issue that we must tackle. He says Wahhabism or Salafism and Boko Haram and the example of Senegal. Interestingly, I was in Senegal twice doing research on religion in Senegal and some questions around extremism in Senegal. And of course, I have studied Nigeria for a long time. It's very easy for us to try to put Boko Haram's blame on a particular religious group, to say Salafis or Wahhabis or stuff like that. But I have written a paper, a report for the Tony Blair Institute like 5 years ago or so. It's called Violent Extremism in the Lake Chad Region, Lessons from Boko Haram. And my key argument was that if you looked at the 5 pillars of Boko Haram's ideology, you will find that they went to 5 different Muslim groups and took the most extremist element of each of the groups and put them together. That extremist element in the group itself will not lead to violence. But if you brought all of them together, then it becomes like a mousetrap that can lead to violence. For example, when we say Wahhabis or Salafis inspired Boko Haram's most important pillar from which they got their name is that Western secular education is forbidden for Muslims. The Izala group and the Salafis in northern Nigeria are the #1 advocates for Western education. They are the people sending their children to go and study in Western style schools to become medical doctors, engineers, lawyers, and all that. So how do we put this ideology that Boko Haram got from traditional northern Nigerian society of Western secular education being forbidden? And that had a history because Christianity came to northern Nigeria in form of Christian missionaries who came with British colonialists. And at the time, Islam had taken root for over 500 years in some parts of northern Nigeria. They saw Western colonialism as an evangelization mission because they came together with the missionaries, and therefore they rejected the Western style schools as a Christian as evangelization schools. And that's why even today, there are a large population of northern Nigeria who did not go to school because they still conflate Western style schools with Western Christian evangelization. And Boko Haram took that from the traditional old thought, belief in northern Nigeria, which is not part of Izala or Salafi thought, for example. You have some pillars. One pillar of Boko Haram comes from the Islamic movement in Nigeria or the Shia movement, the question of Taghut and rejection of Nigeria's constitution. The question of violence, no Muslim group before Boko Haram was violent in that scale other than the Metazine. And so you could argue that they took that part from the Metazine group. And the Boko Haram founder's father himself was a member of the Metazine group. And so what I am saying is you cannot put the blame on one specific group, and those groups are mainly peaceful groups, but they have some extremist elements, and Boko Haram then takes that part of the group that is most extreme and makes it its ideology. And so I think it is dangerous for us to put the blame of Boko Haram on one specific group and say it came from the Wahhabis, for example, and therefore we use the Tariqa or the Sufis to counter them. It is much more complicated than that. Unfortunately, we are in a world that looks for simplistic answers where they are none. Now, Professor, should Sharia practice be removed from the Constitution or blasphemy laws? Now, this conversation started with genocide, and then it goes to Sharia. And I don't know what the relationship between the two is. If there is Christian genocide, is it then being meted out by the Sharia courts or by the Sharia court officials? Now, let's understand this. It is unarguable that the English legal system implemented in Nigeria today had its roots from Christianity. It was originally a Christian legal system that developed into the common law in the United Kingdom, and the British colonialists who colonized Nigeria went and uprooted the Sharia system in northern Nigeria and replaced it with the English legal system, which is today implemented in the whole of Nigeria. Then the framers of the Nigerian constitution, in their own wisdom, thought Nigeria has three different legal systems. Number one, there is the English legal system. They call it the received English legal system or the received English law. There is the customary law, which is applicable in many parts of northern and southern Nigeria in matters of marriage, inheritance, and divorce and stuff like that. And then there is the Sharia legal system, which was in place before British colonialists removed it and replaced it with the English legal system. Now there is a clamor in northern Nigeria by a large section of the community that we want our relationships to be regulated by Sharia courts, by Sharia laws. And houses of assemblies in northern Nigeria use their constitutional powers to enact the laws that are only applicable on Muslims. And I don't know how that leads to genocide. And I don't know how those Sharia courts that do not have jurisdiction on non-Muslims affect non-Muslims in the way that is being described. It is very similar to the example of the Sharia or the interest-free banks like Jaiz Bank. There was a huge outcry in Nigeria when the license for Jaiz Bank was issued, because Muslims define interest as haram, not permissible in Islam, and they want a banking system which will not give them interest, but may share in their profit. And they clamored for one, and there is Jaiz Bank. I think Jaiz Bank, many of the shareholders are Igbos, but they know that it's a profitable business, and well done to them for subscribing. And it is a booming industry now. You have Taj Bank, you have Halal Lotus Investment, Lotus Bank, and other banks coming up. But there was a huge outcry because they are interest-free. They are called Islamic banks, and I don't know who will force a Christian to put his money in Jaiz Bank. But is it not only fair for the Muslims who want to deposit their money in an interest-free bank to be given that opportunity? Isn't that what coexistence should be about? Why is it not fair for a Muslim who wants, when he has a problem with his wife or his children, or when the question of inheritance of his father arises, he wants to go to a Sharia court. What is our problem with that? How does that affect the unity of Nigeria or coexistence, and how does that lead to genocide? Sorry, Professor, I will just run through the two other questions.
No, you are educating the public.
Thank you. Now, someone said differentiate. Aminu Adamu asked me to differentiate between mob action and the kind of discussion around Sharia. And thank you very much, Auntie Funke, for the perspective you gave. And Brother Majid also mentioned this issue of the two mob actions, which at the time, for example, when Deborah was mob lynched, one of the first press statements that came from the Sultan of Sokoto, who is the leader and the representative of all Nigerian Muslims. He condemned it in unequivocal terms. But some people would say Muslims don't condemn it. And when your own leader, who represents all the Nigerian Muslims, officially the Sultan of Sokoto, and who is the president of the Supreme Court of Islamic Affairs, Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, comes out unequivocally. Google, you will see his statement on condemning Deborah's death. When we talk about the woman that was mobbed, lynched in Kano, what I meant was it wasn't abolition that led to that incident. Of course, it was abolition in the beginning, and then the man now mentioned the Prophet of Islam, and the woman allegedly insulted the Prophet of Islam, and some people gathered and mob lynched her. I don't excuse that, I don't justify that, but we need to state the facts clearly. If we just said it was just because she denied someone performing ablution, then we are not telling the accurate facts. Remember that the woman's husband is a pastor who has a mega church in Kano and has been running the church for more than 30 years. So they are allowed to run a church for more than 30 years, but because of ablution, she was killed. That wasn't what happened. The governor of Kano, Ganduje, who was a Muslim, paid compensation for killing her and condemned killing her. No one condemned Harira Jibril's death as far as I know. No one condemned General Alkali's death or paid compensation. No one paid compensation for the 25 students of Sheikh Rahir Bauchi that were killed in Jos. Now, what I am saying is that, yes, there are those incidences. No one can deny them. But then to brush it on the whole of the Muslims, when it is a small group of individuals, many of whom, if you stop them and said, recite the first verse of the first chapter of the Quran, may find it difficult to do correctly, to brush them with the whole of Muslims, when the Sultan condemned the incident, when the governor of Kano, representing the people of Kano, paid compensation for the killing, mob lynching of the woman, when her husband has been a pastor in Kano and has been running a church for over 30 years, and we are still saying every Friday Muslims just go out and start killing people all over the place. I think we can do much, much better as Nigerians. Now, the last issue I would address in the interest of time is the question of accepting that there is a genocide. And Chifunke made that case forcefully, and some other people made it. The issue, the problem with that is that if we say there is a specific genocide, let's say Christian genocide in Nigeria, and according to Trump, facilitated or enabled by the Nigerian government, the first thing that will do is that it will take our insecurity out of the hands of the Nigerian government. It will necessitate international intervention. Because you cannot have a genocide defined under the Genocide Convention, the Geneva Convention, or the Genocide Convention, and say it is a domestic matter, especially if the government of the country is not responding correctly. I don't know any country in the world where the Western army intervened and that made things better. And so we should be careful what we ask for. But let's assume there is no military intervention. The next thing that might happen is for the US government to put an economic sanction, economic embargo on Nigeria. If that happened, it will not discriminate between Muslims and Christians. We will all be poorer. We will all die of economic malfunction, and all of us will pay the price. If the US withdraws assistance from Nigeria because of these calls, it will not discriminate Muslim HIV carriers from Christian HIV carriers and kill only Muslims. It will affect both Muslims and Christians. It will affect Muslim IDPs and Christian IDPs. If the US decides with this that the Nigerian government is not doing well, so we will stop selling them arms, it is the terrorists and the criminal gangs that will have a field day, because our government even today complains of lack of weapons. And if Western governments stop selling them because of this advocacy, then we'll be even in a deeper trouble. And Boko Haram will kill all of us. Bandits will attack all of us. And so we should be careful what we wish for or what we ask for. Number two, even when we look at the numbers, and I know this may sound callous, but please understand the point I am making. Every single life is important, and one death is too many. But even according to the inter-society data, they are talking about 160,000 Muslims and Christians killed in Nigeria over the 5 years or so. The data that has been disproven. Let's concede for the sake of argument that it is correct that 160,000 Nigerians have been killed over the past 5 years by violent and extremist groups. They say 60,000 were Muslims, 100,000 were Christians. Does that make it a genocide in Nigeria or an existential threat to Nigeria? My answer is no. The number is very big, but exaggeration doesn't help us. In the United States, over the past 4 years, from 2021, 22, 23, and 24, 188,000 people died as a result of gun death, gun violence. Are guns existential threats now to America, or gun owners have become existential threat? Or should we say there is a genocide of non-gun owners or of Americans by gun owners because 188 have been killed as against Nigeria's 160? There is a problem. But exaggerating it will not help us. Oversimplifying it to say genocide will take away all the factors Antifunche talked about, because if it is genocide, then you will not address economic factors. You will not address the question of insurgent groups wreaking havoc in places in Nigeria. You will not address the communal clashes happening. You will not address the farmer harder crisis happening in some parts. And because you have lumped everything together, and it has become a genocide. And if people are committing a genocide, you have no business other than fighting them tooth and nail until all of them are gone, because there is no way you can say genocide, people who are committing genocide should be left. Finally, this conversation is letting the Nigerian government off the hook, because the Nigerian government has been criminally negligent. I don't say they are complicit. No president will come to power and say, my legacy will be how many Nigerians have been killed under me. I believe from President Jonathan to Buhari to President Tinubu, each of them want to solve the security problem in Nigeria. But many of there is incompetence, there is mega corruption, there is criminal negligence in some part. And these are issues we have to address. We have to address the question of our porous borders. You can walk into Nigeria from anywhere you like from our neighbors. And that's from where arms and ammunition are floating in. Our soldiers lack basic weapons. They have been complaining. We haven't addressed that well. Some of them say they don't have enough manpower. We have not addressed that well. We are putting too much burden on the soldiers. When we say counter-extremism or counter-violence, if you are able to secure Nigeria's borders, 70% of our problem is gone, because the arms and ammunition and the weapons and the drugs that are being used will not float into Nigeria. Our immigration system is one of the most corrupt in Nigeria. If you carry 10 human heads from Benin, you can walk into Nigeria up to Lagos with them if you have 50,000 naira in your pocket. You just need to give 1,000, 2,000 bribe throughout the checkpoints that are there. How do we secure our borders? What are we doing with the immigration system? What is NDLEA doing to control drugs? Because some of these terrorists, the gangs, especially in the Northwest, if you took away drugs from them for 7 days, some of them cannot even move their legs, not to talk of pulling the trigger, because they are addicted to drugs. How are drugs getting into our country? What is their logistics and supply routes? How do we take that down? How is it that they are still collecting billions of naira? How is it that kidnapping has become the most lucrative industry? These are issues we have to tackle. Someone mentioned the question of displacement, and Chifunke, I think. I have a list right now with a spreadsheet list showing about 600 Nigerian villages that have been displaced, that have been displaced. We talk about displacement in Plateau, we talk about displacement in Benue, all of which are true, are correct. There are 416 villages that have been displaced completely in Zamfara state. It is, the criminals happen to be Muslims. The victims happen to be Muslims. So there is no way to put it in a sensational narrative, and therefore we have accepted that to either continue or with little attention, because it doesn't fit into a specific narrative. The villages that are displaced in Benue State are 43 according to the spreadsheet I have. There are 416 in Zamfara State. In Katsina, there are hundreds of villages that no one occupies today because of bandits. And the federal government, what is it doing? Today it is fighting them, tomorrow it is negotiating with them, next tomorrow it is the villages that are left to negotiate. And I can tell you, what is called negotiation today in northwestern Nigeria is not negotiation, it's surrender. It's surrender by northern Nigerian villages and communities to the bandits because they know the government has failed woefully in protecting them. They have been attacked time and again, and now they go to the bandits begging, cup in hand, kneeling down, asking them for peace, asking them to let them leave, and they agree to pay them taxes. And sometimes there are federal government representatives seated there saying there is a negotiation. How can there be a negotiation between farming and villages, farming communities and villages who do not have weapons, and criminal gangs who have some of the highest grade military weapons, and they go back to the jungles with their weapons intact after the negotiation? I mean, people have just submitted, they have surrendered, and the federal government is overseeing that. But the victims are Muslims, the perpetrators are Muslims, and therefore it doesn't fit into any specific narrative, and we pretend as if that is not happening, and therefore rather addressing issues that are real elsewhere.
God, I beg you. Hey, wow, this man just come gaslight. You know, here's the question I have. Are these people supporting the terrorism? Because I'm confused. You claim that Muslims too have been attacked, they've been unalived, right? If you are claiming that Muslims too have been unalived, the same way Christians are saying that their own people have been unalived, shouldn't you be saying, yes, please, we need the help? Why so much grammar? So much gaslighting? This is Takia at play. This is Takia. Let me even go back and check the meaning of Takia. Mona, wait. I get the meaning. I get her. I save her. Takia means Islamic deception. Muslims are taught to deceive the kuffar, non-Muslim, about their true beliefs in order to defend the cause of Islam and jihad. This deception is called Takia. Because this man, they go left, they go right, they talk about drugs, they talk about borders. You guys have been the ones. Is this guy not a DSS man? Does he not work for? Is he EFCC or one of these two parastatals? Be like a person when I don't see before. The question is, what have they been doing? Donald Trump saying, if you don't tackle the issues, I am coming gun blazing. He not say I'm coming to buy the Muslims. He said I'm coming to take out the terrorists. Are these people saying that they are terrorists? Because that's what the world is hearing. Maybe they are not listening to themselves when they are talking. Because they seem to be emotional and blinded by the fact that all they are hearing is Islam, attack on Islam, attack on Islam. It doesn't make any sense. And this man is an educated man. He sounds eloquent. What is he taking away from? I don't get. Are they saying that Muslims are terrorists? Is that what they are saying? Because this is what they are saying by all this too much explanation and explaining and gaslighting. This is what they are telling the world, that Muslims are terrorists. Because I don't see why your home has been broken into. You are helpless because the person that's come to break into your home is more powerful than you, has all the tools. But somebody on the other side is saying, I have the medicine for these people. I know how to take them out. You that your house has been broken, will you not say, please come and help me? What is this cry all over? What is this need to defend? I don't understand it. If it was Christians that was carrying out this onslaught, Muslims would be everywhere. Remember what happened with Romans 16? How many 16 they say? The day that thing happened, so they carry everybody, they talk, they shout. Where is the same passion? You have somebody coming now saying they want to help you. What they're trying to now is gaslight. They're saying, oh, they are the ones that supply the weapons that are. They forget that it was during Obama's time that allowed this infiltration of weapons. They think that we don't know. Thank God, though, for exposure to for exposure to international politics. Now we know the truth. Now we know the difference. You cannot come and lie to us. Who are the people who are supplying it to you? You are surrounded by bandits, by terrorists. How come you guys have not been talking? If they've been unaliving so many Muslims, how come you've been quiet? None of you have been saying anything. So you people have just been allowing your fellow Muslims to be slaughtered like that. It doesn't make any sense. And now they're coming out and it is very simple. They are coming for the terrorists. Shouldn't you be happy that finally they are coming to deal with the people that have been dealing with you? I don't get it. Not be the same note we just listen now. Say they buy the active police officer for them. We are in uniform. Hey, hey, okoko bioko. Oh. I better go. Let me see. Okay.
The woke. So let me get this straight. The wokety woke folk in Hollywood have spent the last 2 years pretending to care so deeply about those affected by a quote unquote genocide, yet the moment they
Itoro, Mark, what I don't understand what you're trying to say. Please, can you clarify? I don't everything what you're right now, I don't understand. Oh, I see what you mean now. No worry, Tori, I got it now. I don't know. That's it. Now my left brain I be take the reader. I'm telling you, see as the lies just they flow like water. You just they flow. What is your point? Exactly. I was waiting. He used to slide inside there. That is the Benin border. That is porous. Can you imagine? And not the entire northern border. You see him? You got that. Yeah, the man is a liar. I beg we will listen to this thing.
So let me get this straight. The wokety woke folk in Hollywood have spent the last 2 years pretending to care so deeply about those affected by a quote unquote genocide, yet the moment they are presented with an actual genocide that is currently taking place, a real documented genocide that has been happening for the last 20 some odd years, that of Christians in Nigeria, all of a sudden, they are nowhere to be found. All except for Nicki Minaj. Now, you could say what you want about Nicki, and Lord knows I have had my own things to say about Nicki. But one thing I cannot say is that she is not willing to speak her mind when it is necessary or even unnecessary. And guess what? Soon as she spoke out about what is happening to Christians in Nigeria, all of a sudden, she's problematic. I thought we were speaking up for those who are being genocided. I thought that's what we're doing here. I didn't know we were selecting based upon ethnicity, religion. Yeah, I didn't get the memo.
On this topic, because it is incredibly important. There is literally no country on planet Earth where Christians are being murdered at anywhere near the rate they are being murdered in Nigeria. So thank you so much for focusing.
So I don't know what brought this about. Senator Abaribe warns any attempt to introduce Sharia in Igbo land will spark civil war. Not much to be said there. Meanwhile, I say PDP versus PDP. Things are happening. Things they occur. I hope you guys are tuned into the gist. PDP BOT meeting was disrupted. All right, earlier. Let's just humor ourselves.
Minister
Nyesom Wike was your friend. You people were in the G5 in the last election. What exactly would have happened?
Well,
What changed?
Hold on. Small minds talk about people. Average mind talks about events. We will rather talk about issues. What's the issue? The issue is we don't believe in a one-party Nigeria. We believe that our founding fathers, they gave us a multi-party democracy. We must sustain it so that Nigerians can have options when they are choosing their leaders. That is the issue. I don't want to talk about individuals, and I don't want to talk about events. That's the issue.
Thank you so much, City Minister.
Okay, you heard that? Okay, here was the fight.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
We've been talking about hard stuff, so yeah, let's use this one to soften up a little. See police versus police. See them. Police fighting police. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Why they not throw tear gas now? Why they not start to they use ka for each other? God, I beg you.
Now, if a foreign country will come and kill them, and this foreign country will make the mistake of saying, I'm going to protect a certain thing, automatically their psyche is that certain thing that you are trying to protect is my enemy. And look how, and you see Nigerians, the Muslims in Nigeria, whether they are victims or whatever it is, they wouldn't allow a criminal country like.
Let me stay with you.
No, wait. They wouldn't allow America to come in here and do any military. What happened with what happened is when French. Oh, sorry. Now, if a foreign country will come and kill them,
Now they hear something. Hey, see the principal and the students when they buy. See them when they kidnap. Let be this.
It's have to form their own militia with the one they are talking to defend them. I'm not joking. They will form their own Christian militia to defend them and let nobody blame the Christians because it's getting to that point.
I don't think that's.
Are you serious? All these other people that they voted in he's defending them now, say that they are boys. Anybody that attack them, they will not vote for him. He said it. He said it in this country.
All right.
Something he cannot say in Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, when the Macron, they declared him non grata in Saudi Arabia. What was the reason? Moses, what was the reason? Let him tell us. But he can come here and tell provocative statements. And nobody challenges him, nobody talks. Everybody just keep quiet because it's their right to say, so, Abi. One of them, Mr. Moses, that the Tinubu's wife should be killed because she's an infidel. She's a Christian. Very provocative statement. And we are talking about nationalism. Is that how to preach nationalism?
When it's always you that is causing infraction, you talk and behave as if nobody's in Nigeria. No, let us start from somewhere. I told him, let them meet us halfway, Nigeria will be paradise, but they refuse to listen. They refuse to listen. They don't want any other person to talk or say anything. They are the ones that they should be heard. Is that how to build a country? What is nationalistic about this thing they are doing? Leah Sharibu, a young girl, her destiny cut off. Cut off because of religion.
Hey! Nigerian journalists. We are not blamed them, they protect their life. See bandits, they hold meeting. New video, this is from Yoruba Times. So they say new video shows yet another band of terrorists signing a peace deal with communities in Katsina, smiling, shaking hands and posing like legitimate authorities. This is the same terror network that spied a brigadier general in Borno and kidnapped 25 girls in Kebbi barely days ago. See them, they even they take picture. See them, oh. Atlantic, you can't blame them, oh. They won't come out of it alive. I don't blame the journalists in Nigeria. They have gagged them. Until the country is cleansed, there's nothing they can do. So I don't expect much from them. Hey! Wow, the audacity alone. Ha! Good. You can't see them now. Atlantic, why are you talking as though you don't know how it works in Nigeria? Do you want them to, you want me to buy? I don't understand. You know now. You already know.
And a search and rescue mission is underway by the Nigerian police and military to find 25 girls kidnapped from a school in northwestern Nigeria. Police say that a gang of armed bandits with sophisticated weapons stormed the school around 4 a.m. local time while shooting sporadically. The assistant principal was shot and killed. Teams have been deployed in the area to find the missing students. And a search and rescue.
Let me see if this is okay, it's not interpreted. Yeah, Taraba community, they take to the streets to make simple demands.
The senseless killing of tea farmers must end in Nigeria, most especially in Taraba State. Why are they killing us? United States should intervene in this genocide of the innocent citizens of the jihadist
Prophet Isa El Buba, we Christian Association of Nigeria are marching on, and the gates of hell will not prevail. I salute the courage of this leadership to stand with one voice. Christian genocide must stop. Well, it's nice to see them unifying. See your leaders, oh. Yeah. Terrorists in Nigeria army camouflage. Can you see? He's dressed in Nigerian military camouflage. Negotiating with Katsina lawmaker. You see, to free 45 kidnapped victims after peace deal. Can you imagine? Is this not an eyesore? Look at it. See, they work out with their animals on top of person farm. This is what is going on. This is it. Some imams are speaking up. They say we will not. I don't know if they're imams. Let me just read this. This one is from Defender on Twitter. We will not allow you terrorists and sympathizers and their sympathizers to destabilize Nigeria with your extremism. We Yoruba Muslims will not allow you people who are posing as Yoruba Muslims joining the jihadist terrorists and clerics, radicalizing your followers. Islam is a religion of peace and will not let you extremists destroy Islam for us. Sheikh Mudiru Makaz. Don't mind them, they don't break for them now.
Islam, àlàáfíà ni. Gbogbo ọ̀nà ló fi jẹ́sìn àlàáfíà. Gbogbo ọ̀nà ló fi jẹ́sìn àlàáfíà. Àlàáfíà ó ní kó wú ọmọ ènìyàn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ ènìyàn ní kó fi bá a relate kó tó kan ẹ̀sìn kó tó kan ìran.
They are speaking up. I don't know. Una wan hear una president. God forbid. Una wan hear am. Una let me know. Make I play am. He's talking to judges. Like I said, no. Let us be clear. No amount of reform. Mona, listen to wetin he talk. Let us be clear, no amount of reform can succeed if integrity is compromised. Can you imagine that? Justice must never be for sale. The bench must never be a sanctuary for compromise. T-Pain speaks at all Nigeria judges. Do you know that they were singing on your mandate, we will stand in this judges conference? Okay, I just make I throw that one in. See the school, see the hostel when girls dey stay. See am. Mona see where people, the human beings, they live. See am. Look at the building. See terrorists that they do give away for TikTok. See them. Even military, they the life with the terrorists that they do TikTok together. Now they see that's where we are in Nigeria. Mona, listen to this.
I grew up in Egypt, a Muslim country, where Christianity is a minority, and if you dare speak the name of Jesus, you will either die or your church will get bombed. Like in Egypt right now, Christians are getting killed all the time. Last week, there was a mother who went to the front of the church and found her 3 kids literally chopped up in pieces by the Muslim Brotherhood last week. This is all in Egypt.
In Egypt?
So this
in a
is
Christian church?
In a Christian church.
Yeah. Was there any reporting at all on that?
There was no reporting. There's no reporting.
But you know about it because of friends?
I know about it because I'm following so many Arabic and Christian churches in Egypt.
Wow.
And our family, we have family there, we have friends that are there, but you will never hear about that on the news. You will never hear about that in Nigeria on Palm Sunday, that there was a church that was slaughtered. You will never hear that in Syria, Christians are getting slaughtered. You'll never hear that there are so many people and Christians dying for their faith. And we are the most persecuted people around the world. Christians are the most hated, we are the most persecuted, and it is mainly by Muslims. It is mainly by Muslims. And the reason, by the way, you don't get on it, I grew up in Egypt.
Now here? Okay. Meanwhile, let's do a small detour. Tanzania's president, this is from Africa Fact Zone, Samia Suluhu Hassan has appointed her daughter, Wanu Amir, as the Deputy Minister for Education. She also appointed her son-in-law, Mohammed Machengewa, I don't know how to say that name, no verse, my Tanzania people, as the Minister of Health. Oh, Africa. Woman, no, man, no, all join.
Lay down we have talked to them. They said, look, we are ready to lay down our arms. So long as we get what other Nigerians are getting. One. Secondly, that they should not be arrested arbitrarily. Okay. Because they gave us a list of 50 of their actors that we are summarily arrested, and some of them even what they call deleted, killed. So they are ready to stop whatever they are doing if they can get guarantee from government. Okay, so what is it that Nigerians are getting? Let me tell you one thing now. In Katsina State, locals have agreed now with them to sit down and broker peace. Yes, and people are fighting now. You talked about Katsina State because have you not heard of that story? Oh yes, I have. I have actually. But in that same meeting, we heard that some of those that were seen carrying guns were actually the locals and not the bandits. And later we heard there was no peace deal. No, whoever said there is no peace deal, I think it's just so sad that a peace is coming and peace is coming back to our land. What we do now, we pacify these people, not pacify in the sense that we encourage them to do. Since they are going to stop the bloodshed, this is number one priority. Blood should stop flowing. Okay. Secondly, we'll see how we can use our intellect and see how we disarm them. Okay. How do we disarm them is by educating them and civilizing them. Okay.
The same people that says that Western education is not good. How are we going to educate?
Oh, you are mixing apples and oranges. These ones are talking about Boko Haram. You see the point? Yes, I enjoy talking with all of you people because I really want you to understand. But I understand that you have very little knowledge of what's happening here in the north. So I can understand your anger and your attack. No one is angry here. We're just trying to No. I can see anger and the temper rising for no obvious reason.
Can you imagine? Hey! Thank God so na the year about ourselves. Mietiala, they warn the US say, stop linking us to extremists or terror activities. It is the audacity for me, but I don't blame them. Oh my God, Nigeria. See the Kebi, see ya.
The unfortunate thing has already happened. They have abducted our children. We have come, we have seen things by ourselves.
Michael, you are absolutely right about that.
And
I have the same sentiment.
We see the parents that their children were being abducted. And we give them confidence, we give them our words that will do everything possible to ensure that their children are being rescued. And we also assure them that let them have confidence in us. And we'll make sure that the security agencies will do everything possible to do the needful. That is the essence of our coming to MAGA, to see our people, and also to give them confidence and to give them words of encouragement.
This is another Imam, Yoruba land, saying that don't bring your religious war agenda to Yoruba land. I bought this land from my pastor friend and built a mosque with the help of my pastor friend next door. You will never see Sheikh Gumi preaching him. This is what the person, the FS Yusuf, said.
Pastor, only school. Ọdún tí ó tẹ̀lé, táǹpà avẹ́dá skúlẹ̀. Pastor, ọ̀rẹ́ mi tó wà ń bí lọ́ta bí fún mi. Pastor, òun ló ní sọ́ọ̀sì ń bì. Òun ló ní àpọ̀yẹ́ kí sùkúù yín jẹ́lẹ́ ẹ̀sìn sùkúù yín sí àyín kí n ta fún yín. Ẹ̀yin àbá lè kí ẹ̀rí pé mímì rẹ̀ bá jáde tá a dúró tá a sọ̀rọ̀ ni. Ń ṣe pásítọ̀ rẹ̀ ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ mí náà ń ṣe mọ́mú yá yìí. Ìjà kan ò ṣe kí ni? Ǹjẹ́ mo ṣèyàwó ọmọ mi lọ́lé ọkọ, òun náà múra wọ́n gbé báìbù ọwọ́ ọkùnrin rẹ̀, àjọjò kúlẹ̀ ni. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ náà, dádì wọ́n ń pè mí. Èmi rẹ̀ oníjà kankan láti jọ́ ohun tó fi dùn ní. Gbogbo àwọn kírísítẹ́nì àdúgbò yìí kò sí tèmi wọ́n ń jà nù abẹ́ gbórí. Ẹ̀yin tẹ̀ fẹ́ bí ẹ gbórí. Àfi tẹ́ bá tí wọ́n tó ní ẹ wá páàkì mọ́tò yín sí àyín. Ẹ̀yin tẹ̀ wá jímọ̀ tẹ̀ wá ẹ páàkì síbi ẹ páàkì síbi. Ṣé Dárù Nàìm lẹ́wà ẹ páàkì síbi? Ṣé Dárù Nàìm lẹ́wà ẹ páàkì síbi? Bílẹ̀ Yorùbá sì ti rí nù. Àbí mo purọ́ ni. Bọ́ọ̀ bá tó ẹbí ẹ̀ dáadáa kírísítẹ́nì kún bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ bá sàwátà wá láti lọrin. Ẹbí wo lẹ́tùlẹ̀ Yorùbá yìí tí bá ẹgbẹ́ wa bá rẹ̀ àbúrò ìyá rẹ̀ oníjẹ́ kírísítẹ́. Tí wọ́n sì ń ṣẹbí. Ìjà wo kẹ́ àwọn ń jà? Ojú.
Okay. This is where they attack and they captured the two guys. I heard that they've been freed, and I don't know how true that is. I haven't seen anything, so I can't even speak on it too much. This is it. This was the news. So it's still news now, but yeah, basically.
Than what we've done to other. So he said, let's do to them what we've done to other Nigerians. Which Nigerians? Are you talking about Niger Delta, the militants there? They were not killing people. They were blowing up pipelines. Is it the same thing? They were not killing people. They were not burning down houses. They were not displacing communities in the Niger Delta.
Wait. If there are pipelines, in this area where these bandits are, they will blow them up without.
So rather than blow up pipelines, they decide to kill people.
No, you see, when you are fighting an existential war and you have nowhere to raise money, so they use kidnap. They took it from Boko Haram. They took this idea from Boko Haram. Look, we are discussing a way out. Don't bring sentiment into this issue. At the panel, what you do is let's look at how we can go out into this problem. But bringing sentiments into the issue would never. Now, if a foreign country will come and kill them, and this foreign country will make the mistake of saying, I'm going to protect a certain thing.
Okay.
Automatically, their psyche is that certain thing that you are trying to protect is my enemy. And look how, and you see Nigerians, the Muslims in Nigeria, whether they are victims or whatever it is, they won't allow a criminal country like.
Let me stay with you.
No, wait. They wouldn't allow America to come in here and do any military. What happened with what happened is when French. Oh, sorry.
You go explain.
A foreign country will come and kill them.
You go explain. No evidence. They abducted the Reverend Father Bobo Pascal. They abducted him. That was yesterday. Now the diocese, I think the office of the chancellor, I write that letter to inform the public, say they don't capture them. See, make it make sense that a Nigerian military personnel commented a love emoji on an ISWAP commander's post on TikTok. The same ISWAP that buys our military brothers. See, that be that. SC Jihad. As a country, if you have this squad, you are bound to fail. They say here, moderate Muslim, radical. Then Islamic terrorists is the progression. Jihad is like a football team. Terrorists are the strikers. Radicals set up the play and moderates are the defenders covering for them. Everyone plays a role. Oh, Salobua. This is a video of those players that were tackled by people who said, you people, there's a lot happening in your country. You can't even say anything. Let's listen to this.
Mr. President, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Tinubu, I am coming and speaking to you and to every Nigerian that we must all rise up. We cannot look at our nation brought down to the ashes. I feel pain. Throughout last night, I've been weeping over the killing of Brigadier General M. Uba. This uniform of an army general speaks of our strength brought down. That at this particular stage, you should pause whatever you're doing, cause all Nigerian flags to go half mast. With the soldiers, we are losing because you refuse to take the steps that are required. We feel pain. I couldn't watch the video of the killing of General Musa Uba. This is what your government is even trying to deny on the reality of the genocide of Christians. Now this is the reality. If we don't face the truth, you have terrorists that are in your government. You have them in your government. It's time that all the terrorists that were pardoned and brought into the military as the JTF or whatever, it's time to spot them out. You know them. How can they be given AK-47 to be walking along? These are the people that are giving information to the terrorists, to Aswa or Boko Haram. I saw recently your people are trying to establish a peace accord with terrorists. Instead of going out and smoke these people, smoke them. I feel pain because here is the father of a family, husband. I can imagine the trauma. I don't know from his own family where the family comes from, but I can just imagine it. And instead of Nigeria at this point to almost stand still, and all of you Nigerians, I feel grief in my heart that all of you are just muting and just making text messages and just sharing the pictures and the video. Isn't it time that we all rise up? Up in violence, but rise up to say that we must stop this evil in our land, this evil in our land. We must do it. We must come out to say to this government, you either agree together with the international community that are capable to support us to wipe out. These people don't deserve to live. They need to be wiped out. We can't be losing our soldiers. Our soldiers are precious to us. Our soldiers are the strength of our nation. If the military loses its strength, we are all gone. The banner of God upon us will show us mercy. And I appeal, I couldn't hold this. I tried to hold it, but I couldn't hold it. But to come out, to speak to you, President Tinubu, get things right. Get things right. Right from your cabinet. You have terrorists there staying with you, working with you. This thing is politically motivated. These things are driven by some government from Borno right to other states. It's time you put your feet down and deal with the matter. And I want to say to you, Nigerians, wake up. Let's wake up. Let's wake up. Let's wake up and contend with this evil. If you think it is only north, gradually it's running over to the south. You are not safe until we rise up. When the people rise, our light will shine and we will recover our nation. May God comfort the families of the fallen heroes. May God comfort the families of the fallen heroes. We stand with you, our soldiers who are really laying your life to secure our territories and our nation. May God be with you. May God comfort your family. May God watch over you. May God watch over you. Your sacrifices will never be in vain. It will never be in vain. It will surely come that Nigeria will be redeemed and Nigeria will be saved. If you're in this country on the 6th of December, we are coming out from every state on a prayer insecurity in our nation. The intercessors are going to lead that all over Nigeria. And on the 29th of November, we shall be gathering here on the plateau, under the Secretariat flyover. And there we will gather to pray and cry to the God of heaven. And so may God comfort Uba and his family. May God comfort our military officers, our sons and daughters that are paying the premium price. And I want to challenge all of you officers in the military. It's time you stand up and deal with this in a war and don't compromise. Your life is at stake. These politicians will not help you, but you know that you must stand to be the defender and the deliverer of your people. You have lost many soldiers and officers. It's time we defend our territory. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. And God bless all Nigerians of good conscience.
Exactly, Michael, your head did, yeah. Yes, the sponsor of austerity, they didn't like the fact that Yaradua settled with the Niger Delta militants and decided to set up their own so they can go take over the southern state oil wells. Bam. Envy and jealousy with no knowledge to back it up. Not be say they know what to do. Let me read what Mike Arnold said. He says, wow, the Tinubu administration sure is getting some bad PR advice. They couldn't be playing this more wrong if they tried. Trump is smart to let them have time to show their true jihadi selves. And that's exactly what they are doing. Bombs away. Eh? Anyway, my people. Okay, let me quickly share this story. So this lady here, right? They call her Ekiti Princess. She said apparently she's passed away, but her old tweet came up. This was her last post. I am a Nigerian and I am a Christian, and I'm not facing any genocide. This was November 2nd. I am not facing any genocide or existential threats. May God bless Nigeria. PBAT must succeed. This was her last post. See am. She don't buy today. Oh, Omo, be careful what you defend. Be careful what you defend. You never know when it's going to come back and bite you. My people, na see am o, na so the story reach o. Omo, na so the stories, the things that are coming out of Nigeria, they no dey finish. Na here we go hang am for today. Samson, where have you been? Samson Onu, you say whether the threat in Nigeria is for real. Hey, God. There is, for real, yes, there is. Her existential life has been taken away from her. Bam. That's so. Be careful when you dey support bad thing. You dey support am because e pleases you. They are using your head. It's not as if you are benefiting from it oh. They are using your head. Look at it. I don't know what happened to her. I don't know how she died though. But hey, that's the story, my people. Michael, thank you so much, oh my brother. I really appreciate everyone that was able to join. I thank you now. I go see you now on the next one. We move forward. We march. Oh, I beg. Use your voice, oh. Use your voice, oh. I beg. Make una continue to use your voice. Where Nigeria is on a very there's fire on the mountain in Nigeria. That's why I go put am. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. I'll see you guys on my next one. Have a wonderful rest of the evening. Bye.